Well, hello guys. Little lackluster here compared to our normal live streams, as I'm not home with my multiple computers, but we are live. This is Novatazz Automotive Podcast. I think this is episode 29. That's what I put as the title. I can't promise that it is actually 29 because I can't look it up. We are stuck to just my cell phone, so I have me and Big E here. I can see that Pilot is here. Um, though the chat looks really funny through StreamYard. But this is the mobile version of Novatazz's automotive
Mhm.
podcast. Novatazz on the road, because technically right now I am Salem, Massachusetts,
Mhm.
and we decided to take a mini vacation last minute. That's why I don't even I think that my other one is still technically scheduled to go live at 9, but
Hmm.
yeah, there's no way for me to connect to that one.
Ow.
Pilot says he likes it. Like the I don't like this minimal look. I don't. This is technically what would be displayed up in the top left corner of my normal live stream.
Yeah.
Um, this is exactly how it is displayed. I just shrink it and put it up in the top corner so that I have everything else on here. Um, why did we decide to come to Salem, Massachusetts? Well, because we came up here to check out the Boston Aquarium and the History Museum, and check out Salem and the witch trials and all of that stuff that's up here.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We walked around Salem for 2 days. Tomorrow we're going to go up and go see the Baltimore, not Baltimore, Boston. It's not even the Boston Aquarium. It's the New England Aquarium
Yeah.
and the Science Museum that's up here. It was about an 8-hour drive up here from where I was at. And
Damn.
I actually was only about an hour away from Big E at one point.
Closer to two.
Something like that, because we came up through Albany, and then it has come up through the lower Vermont, and then
Mhm.
down to Massachusetts. I guess that was to avoid a toll road. I bet you I probably could have taken a toll road right through from Albany straight across, but
Probably.
not doing that. Oh, my 2-year-old is being a dork over here on the couch.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
but, yeah. See, this is my dedication to you guys. I am here on a Sunday night, very far from home, and in a hotel room. Let's see. Yeah, I did see that. And it's because, and you know what? I completely understand it because none of them bought a C8 because they wanted a C8 personally. Every single one of them bought a C8 just like they bought the Toyota Supras because it is what's trending and what they need to, they would needed to be the first to do certain things to be able to get that view and to be able to have that title in their repertoire. When you're
Mhm.
that big, you're just following the trends. I mean, it's if you're in gaming, it's the same thing. If you see the gaming channels, they have, the first ones to put out, when PUBG first came out, when with that Fall Guys is what's like out now, and there's even another one that's out now that's also trending. Um, but yeah, it's the C8. They've run out of content. That's why they're selling them. There's several reasons. A, they've run out of things they can do with them. There's only so much you
Yeah.
can do with a C8 when um, you can't unlock the computer, so you can't tune them. You can't you can't tune them. You can't do anything with them. Nobody makes any parts or body kits for them. Um, there's no market. There's no aftermarket for them yet.
Yeah.
Several of the ones that you have seen, like Street Speed's car, they used his car as literally the test dummy to make the turbo kit for it. You know,
Mhm.
they didn't. You know, Mike didn't have that turbo kit made because he wanted a turbo C8 Corvette. No, he had it made because they probably gave him a good bit to do that. He didn't keep the turbo kit anyway. The turbo kit's going back to them as soon as he takes it off the car, which is what they're doing now. They're turning that car back to stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making money. They've made their money off of the car for what they can through YouTube, through
Hmm.
endorsements with companies that they were working with, where they bought the car. These companies said, "Hey, if you buy this car and let us use your car as a test mule to and make this certain new product for them," they're probably got a kickback for that. Then they also got to make content about that, and now they've run out of content to make with them. The Corvettes have a really high sale price compared to
Oh
when they.
yeah.
I mean, they're selling for $20,000 to $40,000 more than they were MSRP. So it
Yeah.
would be stupid to hold on to these cars. For the price that you sell this car, you could go out and go buy a Z06 when it comes out, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's just around the corner that they're going to come out with the Z06, which is what the next big car is that they're going to buy. That's going to be, Mike's already said it. In fact, actually, Mike has another C8 Corvette already on the way that's not even a Z06. He has a Spider coming. So he
Oh,
has a C8 convertible coming
cool.
in that electric yellow. So I mean,
Nice.
it doesn't make any sense for him to hold on to that black C8.
I mean, even Cletus sold his.
Well, yeah, Cletus sold his to family.
Oh, was it the
So
family?
yeah, he sold it to his father-in-law.
Oh, cool.
So I mean,
He's still making money on it though.
well, then the thing is who's to say that wasn't already in the plans before they even bought the car?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, you want a C8, let us buy it, let us do our thing with it, and then you can have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and that's the same thing with with Mike. He did his thing, and now he's selling it. I'm not sure who he's selling his to. Don't think he mentioned who it was, but it's going completely back to stock. So everything that's on it, the wrap came off, the twin turbo kit's coming off of it, the um, the the exhaust that was on it obviously is coming off because it was made for the twin turbo build.
Yeah.
He never even took any of the stickers off of the radio screen or anything, which he only does that when he's going to sell the vehicle. You knew he was going to sell it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense to not get rid of these vehicles while they're hot. You can pick up another one, especially with the amount of money that these guys make. You can pick up another one if they want one. And
Yeah.
even the one Mike bought, he wanted it in yellow. He didn't want it in the black. He bought the black so that way he could get an early VIN, which I think he got VIN number 14.
Something like
Uh,
that.
so yeah, I mean, those cars weren't bought because that was their dream car. They bought those cars because they needed the cars early and quick, so that way they could get the content out before people weren't interested in it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I said, it's just like the Supra. The Supra, as soon as the Supra was done, all of them sold them. Fucking Stradman. I don't think Cletus had one.
No.
Stradman, TJ Hunt had one. Um, Street Speed didn't have one. There's a bunch of people that had them, and yeah, they got rid of them as soon as the content dried up. Which I mean, that's what you got to watch for, because like these people get you all hyped for these freaking cars and act like they're greatest thing. No, they're only getting them because it's what's trending and it's what's going to get them views.
Yeah.
He is kind of like Whistling Diesel with trashing all of those trucks. Why does he do it? Because he makes more money trashing them than he would by keeping them pristine. Do I agree with it? No. Do I watch his content? No. I watched him for a little bit because I liked the ones where he was doing weird crap, like putting square wheels on them and stuff. Because
Yeah.
it was interesting. Am I into watching his channel to watch him flat out just destroy a gorgeous truck? No, I absolutely cannot stand watching that. I'm one of those people that have a hard time watching demo derbies.
Yeah.
Now Honda Civics and late
Yeah.
80s, early 90s cars, sure. I have no I have no love affair with those cars.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen anyway.
Right. Watching them destroy 60s and 70s, even four-door classics, station wagons even. Yeah, it kind of hurts a little bit because,
Yeah.
those are the cars that I'm into. I like four-door cars. I like the big old, the Ford Granadas and um, the big LTDs. I love those big old cars. So the
Yeah.
four-door Impalas, they're gorgeous. But then again, not everybody likes them. But yeah, like, you want to wreck a Honda Civic or a Cavalier or something like that? Sure, go for it. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Do you know what I just realized? I can't do any points giveaways this week.
Oh.
I have no access to my Streamlabs. I don't even know if it'll open up
Probably not.
because I'm not going through my Streamlabs, so I don't know if any of that stuff will even open. You guys can try it. You guys can try the exclamation point top and see if it pops up, but I don't know if it will because I'm not going through that. I mean, it should. Streamlabs, their Streambot should start anytime I go live, no matter whether it's through Streamlabs or not. But it is what it is. That and the chat will be a lot laggier. So you guys,
Yeah.
like the time that somebody types something that I see it will be a little bit longer than when I go through Streamlabs. Because Streamlabs has that like ultra low latency and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one here. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I see here. I have my ticker down at the bottom because that I can get through StreamYard. Luca, stop. You don't have to drop it on the floor, but or just break. It just fell on the floor like I turned him off. I do see. I still see a view count, which it says I've got 2 viewers, which is really low. Normally, I have more than that. But then again, I don't know how hard it was to see this. Like, I don't know if anybody joined the other chat, the other live stream. I remember when you could get a Impala as a 2-door or 4-door convertible or a station wagon. Yes, I remember that too. And not when they were new, because geez, that was before I was born. But I have seen them in all of those configurations.
Mm-hmm.
Then those 4-door Impala station wagons were freaking huge. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, they weren't any longer than the regular 4-door Impalas, but you add that extra like space because like normally that whole area from the back door to the taillights was all trunk.
Yeah.
In the station wagons, that was all storage. I mean, you could fit an extra 8 people back there when it was a station wagon.
Mm-hmm.
If not more, because I mean that's just 8 people sitting on the side. I mean, you could pack another 4 people in the middle. You could pick, geez, 1, 2, 3, 4, what, 12 people just in the trunk space?
Yeah.
Freaking that! I mean, that. I remember when I was a kid, and one of my friends' moms had a station wagon. Packed a whole party full of kids. I mean, you got to think about it. A couple adults and the whole back of that freaking station wagon was just cram packed full of kids. And we all went down to the local wherever we were having the party at. Everybody got dropped off at
Jeez.
the parents' house that was having the party, and we all piled in the station wagon to go to where we were having the party.
That's funny.
how we did it. That's why minivans weren't needed back then. That's why minivans and SUVs and stuff weren't needed because you didn't have to wear a seatbelt.
Yep.
It wasn't a law, so everybody just piled in the back of the truck with a cap on it or into the back of the station wagon. Nobody cared.
Nah.
And so yeah, we all just piled in and we just went to wherever we were going. You didn't need you could put the whole freaking baseball team in one car.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And go out to the little league game. It
Yeah.
wasn't easy to take like two or three SUVs. You just took one station wagon.
Yeah, you can't do that now because you get pulled over.
Hey,
I'll give you hell.
we're only going 5 minutes down the road, but it's insane. I mean, geez, you have people that are complaining now. Like when I was a kid, parents had no problems letting their 6 or 7-year-old hop on a freaking mini dirt bike and just go. You
Mhm.
know, just that you just went. You hopped in the freaking the little go kart, whatever it was. It didn't matter. Now you have people. Do they have their helmet? Do they have their safety pads? Do they have their riding gear? We didn't have any of that shit. We just went. We just went and had fun. Geez, I mean, I would get up and I would take my bike and I would be gone from 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. You'd probably see me at lunch because I got hungry, and then I would be back out until the ladybugs, the lightning bugs came out.
Hmm.
You know, that that was what we. God forbid if parents did that now.
I know.
Not only would you not see parents do it, but you would have people calling CYS on you, which is CYS in my area is Children's Protection Group or whatever.
Yeah.
Children and youth is what they call it here. But basically, it's the helicopter government for children.
Yeah.
I see Hank has joined us. Welcome aboard, Hank. Um, Eldorado could sleep 8 if you could stack them right. uh, Agreed, Violet. Agreed. Um,
I
geez,
remember.
my Nova, the trunk in my Nova could sleep 3.
Jeez.
Well, you know those sand turtles,
Yeah.
like a little toy sand pit
Yeah.
things.
Sandbox.
Yeah, the sandboxes that look like a turtle. I could fit one of those in my trunk and close the trunk.
I damn.
That's how big my trunk is in my Nova. I could literally put the whole turtle in my trunk and close it, and you would not even know it was in there.
That's wild.
Ain't it?
You can't do that now either.
Just paid off the Malibu. Now I got to figure out what next. I don't know what is next. You gonna do any? What are you gonna do with the Malibu? You just keeping it and riding it out, or what? I have absolutely no plan for this week's live stream. It's just like I have to at least pop on and say hi. Oh, because I don't have any of my stuff set up, so I can't. Like normally, I watch like the live stream and I watch all the stats and everything. I have none of that. I feel so
Yeah.
naked. Just like I have nothing to like. Being ADD, all that stuff kind of keeps me, whatever. Having none of that, my mind is like all over the place.
Mhm.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I've also missed gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even bring like the Xbox or anything. Because we just wanted to be like away from. We just wanted to be away from it all. No work, no bullshit. Just get out, relax, and enjoy. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. You know what pisses me off? Okay, so Jess, my partner, she's like, we want to go out to. Do you want to go out and do this trip? And we looked up everything we need. We thought we had all our T's crossed and our I's dotted. Checked all of the, because like now with the COVID crap, you have to check whether or not your state that you're coming from is a high risk state, and then you also have to check obviously where you want to go to make sure that that's not a high risk state. Also for our job, because if we go to a high risk state, we have to quarantine ourselves for 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't have the time in my bank to cover that. In my time off bank to cover that.
Yeah.
So we did all that, checked everything, bought the hotel, which this is a really nice room. It's actually 2 rooms. Like most hotels, everything's in one room. This actually has like a wall that divides the beds from like another like day space. It's got like a couch with a table and stuff like that. So this is actually one of the nicer hotels that I've been in. but we did everything that we were supposed to do. We drove 8 hours after I got done work. We drove 8 hours. We didn't get here, I think, until midnight.
Damn.
In fact, actually, right, Streamlabs is working.
Mm.
I just seen it spam my chat for Teespring. By the way, if you enjoy my channel, please go check out my Teespring. It does really help me out, and I have a lot of designs up there. And if you guys aren't interested in them, I'm thinking about changing them up. So if you want anything that's up there, I would suggest you go up and go check it out soon because they may not be there forever. I might be pulling them down and putting new stuff up. But anyway, so we get all the way out here, drove 8 hours, got the hotel room. Our state was considered low risk. The state we are going to was low risk, which is Massachusetts. We also even checked all of the states that we were passing through, so New York, Vermont, all of them.
Yeah.
Everything was good. We even had to, you had to buy some of the tickets. You had to buy ahead of time to go see some of the stuff that's down here.
Yeah.
So we bought everything. We get out Saturday morning. We go out and we start walking around Salem, Massachusetts. We were going to go to, they have what is it called, the Peabody Museum or something out here.
Yeah.
And we get in there, we get in line, we, whatever. And there's a lady there that's doing screenings for COVID. And they check her temperature, and then they ask us some questions, and then they asked us what state we're coming from. I'm like, I'm coming from Pennsylvania. It's like, oh, that was put on the restricted list as of midnight on Friday.
Oh my God.
You're required to go get a COVID screening test to be able to come see this museum now. We're like, what the? Because I'm sorry, but I think that if you're going to update the list, you should do that a couple days before the weekend, so anybody that's planning on traveling can adjust accordingly. Because you have
Yeah.
to go out and go get a COVID test. Well, we're all the way out here in Massachusetts. We had to stop in the middle of our Saturday to go get a COVID test to prove that we don't have anything. Well, now we know we didn't have anything. We live out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Low risk. I mean, our county was one of the last freaking counties in Pennsylvania to even get a single positive test. But anyway, so we ended up having to travel all over the place looking for a place to get tested. We got tested. Obviously, we were clear, but we lost 2 hours out of the Saturday, which is the time that we would have had the most time to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, it was just annoying. Like, you couldn't figure this out. You couldn't have posted this like a day or two before the weekend.
Nope.
Give people a chance to again, get tested or whatever they need to do to comply with the thing. Nope, I have no problem complying. I mean, we had to wear, I don't know where mine is. We had to wear our masks all weekend everywhere we went. Like, not even like in buildings. You had to wear it in any of the touristy areas in Salem, walking on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
As soon as you walked past a certain point in the town, you had to wear your mask. No matter where you were at, inside, outside, it didn't matter. They like the tourist things. Normally when you go to a touristy thing, it's like a historical site or something.
Mm-hmm.
You have people filing through or whatever. They were letting in only 4 people every 20 minutes.
Oh.
This is Salem, and this is like, the Mecca for people that are Gothic or witch or whatever, all pagan. And so there was a lot of people out here that we couldn't
Mm-hmm.
even get a time on Saturday to go to some of these places because they were booked every single time slot.
Oh damn.
Single time slot open for those. And like, that means that maybe they got 100 people through in a day. Maybe.
Jeez.
And some of these places you couldn't get a ticket for it ahead of time. Like, you couldn't pre-book. You had to wait till you were in Salem to book it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Jess just said she had to turn her location services on her phone to prove that she was in Salem.
Jesus.
Hank said that the Malibus have I absolutely hate the start stop. No, I see that going to be more of an issue.
Yeah.
I see that's going to be more of an issue coming in the future when these cars start getting older and the starter starts going. Hold on, I gotta send another invite real quick. I'll be right back. I don't know if it's gonna take me out of here or not.
Well, we'll find out. Oh, I didn't kick him out.
I'm still here.
Oh, your screen's like frozen.
Yeah, that's because I'm not on
On tab. Or yeah. There you are.
Yeah. This is one of the things that not having a computer sucks. Trying to do this all on my phone. But Curtis was trying to join, and Cletus.
Curtis.
Well, it is Curtis. His real name is Curtis.
Oh.
But his channel is Cletus. But yeah, I don't know. He was trying to join, so I was trying to give him
Allow that.
Well, he sent me a text. He sent me a message saying that the link wasn't working. Nope, there he is.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Howdy.
Welcome to the stripped down version of Novatazz podcast.
I see.
It's like even if you look on YouTube, exactly what you're seeing on the screen for StreamYard is exactly what you're seeing on YouTube because I have none of my background stuff running. I'm not home.
It's like the light
and
version of your
the stuff in the
channel.
background's there, not there either. So.
There's nothing. I'm in a hotel room.
Oh, nice.
We are doing this live stream off of my cell phone, and my kid is apparently backing up and saying beep beep. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but
Yeah, I can hear him.
He's playing cars.
He's backing it up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He has not gone to bed on time this whole weekend because nothing normal.
Yeah.
Any hot chicks? Well, it depends on if you consider goth chicks hot. Me coming from the early '90s, yeah, of course I do. But goth chicks are not everybody's cup of tea. But yeah. So I'm actually going live from Salem, Massachusetts. It's 8 hours from home.
What you doing in Massachusetts?
We were touring Salem.
Oh.
And then the witch trials, all that stuff. New comments that I can't see apparently. Okay.
Vacation, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it was a impromptu vacation just to get us away from home. Something that was close enough that we could drive to and cheap enough to go and enjoy the weekend. Pilot says, "What? No beer." Actually, I don't have any beer here. I am drinking water. So if we want to do what's in the cup, I'm drinking water. I tried to have a beer earlier today, and I'm in Boston. I mean, like right outside of Boston. Salem's what, like 20 minutes from Boston? In fact, we went down to Reeves Beach, which is actually in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
We went there today. Fun fact: first beach I've been to since I was like 14.
Oh.
Just being an adult and being able to go out. I've never had the ability to just take a vacation down to the shore because as soon as I became adult, I became a workaholic and ended up working when everyone else wanted to go out. So I was always working. Oh.
How's the weather there?
Huh?
How's the weather?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's not too hot.
Yeah.
There's a breeze through here. It stayed about, I would say mid to low 70s all weekend.
Nice. So great time to be on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Well, the beach we went out there at like 5, 6 o'clock. There was a decent breeze coming through. It was slightly cloudy, so there wasn't a bunch of sun. I mean, it was good enough that the sand wasn't even hot. The sand was nice to walk on, but it wasn't cold.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it was cold because of the wind, but it wasn't cold like air temperature wise. Yeah, and we forgot sunblock today, so all of us got a little toasty.
No, I prefer. You guys are fine.
Well, Luca was wearing long sleeves today, and I've already got burnt this year, so I won't burn again. I have a little bit of Native American in me, not much, but I'm mainly Irish, and like everyone else in my family, they even like if they look at the sun wrong, they turn into a lobster. Me, I'll burn like right at the beginning of the season. Like again, I look at the sun wrong, and I will burn. But then the whole rest of the season, as long as I don't let myself peel, I would just paint. I would paint the whole I have no idea what that
The hell was that?
What coming from you?
I don't know what you're hearing.
Like an electric chirp.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Electric chair. Luke, I'm going to put you in an electric chair. But it's going to have like a remote control, and I can just like drive you around.
Are you still hearing it?
No, I don't hear it.
Yeah, it stopped.
But anyway, yeah. So we went to a restaurant today. It was an outside restaurant, and I'm like 20 minutes from Boston. So I was like, well, I think this is a great place to have a Boston lager, right? You know, Sam Adams Boston lager, right? And I was like, you know, like here in Pennsylvania, when you say I want a lager, they'll give you a Yingling. You know, you don't even have to call it a Yingling. You just say I want a lager, you're going to get a Yingling. So I'm like, I want a lager. And she started naming all of these lagers. She didn't even like, you know, like automatically assume I would want a Boston lager, which is really weird. That's what I would have think that she would have, you know, assumed being 20 minutes from the home mecca of that beer.
Yeah.
And so she offered me Jack's Abbey. There's a perfect again.
He's back.
I don't hear any chirping.
No, that's why it's you.
Oh.
If me and Big E are hearing it, then it's not us because we can't hear our own microphones.
Unless it's the Alexa going off.
Might be. You never know.
Shut up, Alexa.
Yeah, it might be doing electrical interference. But anyway, so I ordered a lot. They gave me a choice of Jack's Abbey lager or some other lager, and then I did notice in the menu they did have Yingling here. I could order a Yingling. I could order 2 other lagers, but I couldn't order a Sam Adams Boston lager. I could order an Oktoberfest from Sam Adams, but I couldn't order the Boston lager, which is like my second. Looks like other than Yingling, Boston lager is like my second favorite lager. But I ordered the Jack's Abbey. That was really good. Dealing with a 3-year-old stuck in a freaking hotel room.
What kind of hotel did y'all stay at?
What is this, honey? What is this hotel? It's a Marriott. I don't know what it is.
Never heard of it.
Marriott is like a chain brand.
They
have a bunch of different like names for their hotels, but they're all under like the Marriott umbrella company.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what this one is. There's not like there's branding all around the hotel telling me where I'm at. But yeah, like I said, it's decent. It's got we've got a room with 2 twin beds, and then the couch has a pull-out twin. It's got two separate rooms, but they're not like separate. Like there's just like a half wall that
Yeah.
separates the beds from the day living space. TV with freaking YouTube. I could log into my YouTube account on the TV and have my YouTube account here.
That's cool.
Because I don't watch TV. So I watch YouTube. Yeah, separate room for your shower, toilet. It's a hotel room. It's not bad for the price that we paid for it. So, no, I didn't get lobster. Number one, Jess doesn't like seafood, and yeah, what did we get? We got I know lobster is like the thing to get here. Especially it's probably really cheap right now with the pandemic and all that. But I mean, I'm not like, oh my god, I have to have lobster. That's my mom's thing. My mom would freaking die for lobster. Luca, go play over there. No, we're gonna sit underneath the desk. Sit underneath the desk. Whoa. I'm having a live stream. Do you mind?
Yes.
Of course you mind. Anything to take attention away from him.
Well, yeah.
No, you're not going to get in the drawers. Yeah, this is Novatazz argue with his toddler son in the hotel room, episode 2.
2.
My wife doesn't like seafood either. Well, I'm sure, knowing you, Pilot, your version of seafood is that one where you open up your mouth and tell everybody what you're eating. I'm sure she wouldn't like that. This just comes to your personality. I'm sure it's different. Again. No, what's the voice? Yeah. No. Oh.
So did y'all fly or did y'all drive?
What?
I drove.
Oh,
Y'all drove, you said?
Well, it was. Stop it, Luca. I'm 3. Knock it off. Other part about having a 3-year-old. Pick that up, Luca. No, get it off the couch. I don't know if that's a shadow or if he dumped his water on the couch.
At least it's water.
Well, that's what Jess just said. Hold on, I gotta go get that. He dumped it on the couch. I'm probably gonna need a towel to soak that up. Yeah, we drove because tickets from number one, we would have to travel an hour or 2 to get to an airport. Not to mention airports are absolutely fun right now with COVID and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like 300 and something a ticket per person.
Oh, yeah. Screw that.
For us to be on a plane for like maybe 30, 40 minutes.
My sister got super cheap tickets. She just flew down from New York, Rochester.
New York to where?
To Conway, Arkansas. Or we're at the Little Rock, Arkansas from Rochester.
Yeah, well, we're only traveling from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, I was saying hers was only $83 per person.
Yeah, well, it's only
a super good deal.
It also depends on like who you're flying with and
Right. And
and if you have to transfer and whatever. But like with all of the headaches, I mean, that's how much money.
Yeah,
and
well, 8 hours isn't that far. That's why I was wondering if y'all drove.
8 hours to drive. It was like 400 and some miles. You know what I mean? By the time we would have driven to the airport, gone through, you know what I mean? We could have been most of the way there already.
without any other hassle.
So yeah, I mean, it's not like we were having to go all the way out to Illinois or something. I wouldn't want to drive all the way out to Illinois.
And then you got to worry about something happening to your car in their parking lots.
Right. I mean, and we drive Kia Souls. I mean, we filled up twice.
Y'all brought one Kia Soul?
We only brought one Kia Soul.
Yeah, I figured. Well, you're saying Kia Soul, so I didn't know if you brought both. But yeah,
Well, I said we have Kia Souls.
I got you. I got you.
It doesn't matter which one we take. They both, you know, they're both going to be so if we filled up our take $22. I don't know. Do you have like a microphone wire like running near a phone charger or something?
No, got it plugged in the same place. Here, let me try muting it and see if it helps. Is it still making noise right this second?
It's not making my noise right now, but it's like it's intermittent. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
And I'm not ignoring the chat. The chat's just really small. Yeah, Violet says it must be cell phone interference.
Well, my son's been using this microphone for the Xbox, so it's kind of frayed now. He probably tore it up.
Yeah, it's probably not as insulated as well. The grounding that goes around the cord probably is a little. I lean forward. I'm not in the phone in this camera. I don't want to sit here and be freaking having to hold the damn freaking phone. There we go. I have the phone propped up against a Monster Energy can.
Hey, it's only stupid if it doesn't work.
Right, and that's one of my pet peeves. I mean, like, I know I have people that join here all the time. They don't have a dedicated streaming setup. Now,
Does that work better now?
Well, I don't know. We won't know because until it doesn't.
All right, well, I've got the power unhooked and just got the regular headphones hooked up, so there's no power, no lights, or anything like that. So
maybe
that'll take care of it.
Oh my God, my 2-year-old, my 3-year-old, he's now 3. As of the 9th, he is now 3. But yeah, what was I saying? Little brain fart.
Were you talking about your Kia Souls?
Oh yeah, it cost us like $22 to fill those cars up completely, and we had to fill them up twice.
How much is gas up there right now?
Well, gas down where I was at was 2, around 230, 240.
So a little high. Well, a little higher than up here, but not bad.
Gas up here in Massachusetts is below $2.
Yeah, it's below $2 here too, and in Missouri and stuff.
The thing is in Pennsylvania, we have a 60 cents tax, regardless of what the price is. So technically, right now, gas in Pennsylvania would be around $1.70, $1.80.
Yeah, that's about where it is everywhere else.
Yeah, because we have a road tax on our gas. Luca, stop.
Y'all must have some real nice roads.
No, we have some really bad roads that need a lot of work. And I do have to admit, they have done like 81 between my house and my work. They have almost just about replaced the whole highway.
Oh, damn.
They're doing a lot of work. If you guys watched Old Car Auto Guys or Kip from what is his channel Nick called?
America Bumper to Bumper.
If you watch either of their channels, when they came down here to Pennsylvania, one of their comments was the fact of how bad the roads were. And yeah, they were. They used to have potholes on that road that would swallow our Kia. Like literally, it's like it was playing, Dodge the Mines.
Oh,
is it the salt that's eating it up, or just a lot of traffic?
It's a lot of things. I think that it was bad patch jobs. Just like Luca, what are you doing? This is why I do my live streams up in a studio, and he's normally in bed already. But I think it's a lot of things. Like I think a lot of it was just really cheaply trying to repave the road, so they didn't like grade it right. They didn't use a right product. If you notice, there's like in different parts of our road, we have some of our roads are red, some of them are gray, some of them are black. Like it all depends on what material that county wanted to use. and who they contracted out to do it. And I think some of the people that they contracted it out to do it over the years weren't very good. And then even people that were just patching holes and then like literally just patching the hole that created. Well, if you have a really bad lift up where you're having potholes that are like, a couple inches thick, and you just patch that particular spot right there. Well, I mean, that's like literally just like mending a frayed edge on a blanket. It's just going to keep fraying. If one spot is bad, that whole job is bad. It will all eventually end up coming up. And that's what would happen is it would come up. Well, then not only would the edge right at the edge where they patch would come up, but then that would also loosen the patch itself. So not only would the original hole still be there, but then it would be even bigger. Because it is a lot of that. It's water seeping down in underneath and then freezing. Plow truck comes by, catches that lip where it lifted it up, and rips it all out. And that's exactly what it is. It's the salt. It's the material that they're using to salt the roads, because it's not technically just salt. It's a brine mixture, so it's chemicals plus salt, and it's just horrible on the road. It's horrible on your cars. I don't know why they use it. I mean, a lot of other states that have a lot of snow, they use ash.
Yeah, like Colorado.
Why? Because it doesn't destroy the roads. It doesn't destroy the cars.
Right.
It's biodegradable.
Well, Colorado, they don't use salt, and they have a bunch of snow and stuff, and they don't have that same issues. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest getting those two dates mixed up, Pilot. He says the 8th is his wife's birthday and the 9th is his ex-wife's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, whoopsie. Definitely don't forget those. Don't get those two mixed up. But yeah. Is anything exciting going on in the world of you guys? Either in chat or up on screen.
I've got up to 414 subscribers now, so
you're almost at that 500.
Yeah. It's pushing. It's going there.
I'm almost up at 1930.
I'm about to start a couple videos on a Kia Soul. Got a 2010 model now, so.
You got a 2010.
Now I'll be like you, huh?
Yeah, it's the same gen, I think.
Okay.
Y'all gonna be going around soling it up.
Changed it in 2000.
Oh, I'm sure I'll sell it pretty quick.
They changed it in like 2013 or 2014 to your body style should be on the Kia Rio chassis. And then the generation after the ones that we have would be on the Kia Forte chassis.
The person that just traded me this Kia Soul bought a Kia Rio from me.
It's the same car.
Yeah. Well, the Rio was newer with a lot less miles, and the Soul had a lot more miles than was. The Rio was 13, and it has 69,000 miles on it.
It's still the same car.
Yeah.
It's just you go from the 2 or 3 door little the little tiny whatever, then you go to a bigger hatchback. That's all the Soul is.
Yeah, it has the same engine in it, the same steering wheel. I mean, it was all. Looked a lot. Yeah.
It's just a Rio wagon.
But the Rio got a lot better fuel mileage. A lot better. It gets 43 miles a gallon. So.
It's probably weight and aerodynamics.
Maybe so. It is a little bitty. I mean, the actual inside, the body, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the Rio is a lot lighter, and obviously is a little more streamlined for aerodynamics.
Sure, not a box.
The Kia Soul is a big, heavy box.
It's a toaster.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Which engine do you have in that car?
It was the GDI.
I
forgot which size, but
1.9 or the 1.9 or the 2.0.
I think it was 2.0. I'm almost positive, but it could have been the other one.
The 2.0 should have came with a 6-speed automatic.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, the 1.9 liters come with a 4-speed automatic.
I got you.
No.
And then the bigger engine comes with a 6-speed. And depending on where I'm driving, I have gotten the Kia Souls up to 39 miles to the gallon.
Nice.
Damn.
Both of them, actually. Both of them will get up there. But the green one, which has the 2.0, it's a lot easier to maneuver in traffic because when you need to get the scoot, it scoots. The gray one, you've got to flog that baby to get it up to speed when there's a tractor trailer calling up your butt when you're trying to get on the highway.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that Rio, it you could tell it was a 4-cylinder for sure.
It's probably the 1.9 liter because
Yeah.
I mean the green one, which is a 2.0, is still a 4-cylinder, but it gets up and goes. It even actually still gets up and goes up at 80. So like if you're sitting at like 75, 80 and want to pass a car in front of you, it still gets up and goes around it. Whereas the gray car, forget it. You have no oomph above 40 or 50 miles an hour.
Damn. I'll be right back.
I did come across a pretty cool car that I'm probably going to buy as long as it drives out well. It's a 2003 Monte Carlo.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's not like a muscle car or anything, but it's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, it's a front wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Malibu.
Yeah, it's got a little bit better look than a Malibu, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a Malibu with different body style. I mean, that's like the Rio and the Soul. Underneath, they're still the same.
Yeah,
you know, but they look different. But yeah, they're what do they call it? Like a V6?
Yeah, I think it's like a 3200 V6 is what it says.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I liked the Malibus. I mean the Monte Carlos, but it would have to be an SS.
Well, if I bought it for myself, it'd have to be an SS. But this one, I'm buying for the car lot, so
yeah,
resale.
I like the NASCAR edition ones of those.
Mm-hmm.
The Jeff Gordon one, I didn't really care for. I'm a big Jeff Gordon, but I didn't care for the Jeff Gordon version. It was like blue and silver with like ghost flames through it.
Oh yeah, I didn't much care for that.
Didn't care
Did
for
it
that
have
one.
checkers on one side or something too, or I don't remember.
Didn't have those. The Tony Stewart one was pretty cool looking. The Dale Earnhardt Jr. one was definitely cool looking. But
What about the Intimidator?
that one is my favorite one.
Yeah.
But the regular, just plain Jane Monte Carlo SS, just an all blacked out one
Mm-hmm.
with just the red lettering for the SS and the Chevy emblem.
Right.
Oh my god, that was so sweet looking.
I liked it.
But
My favorite Monte Carlo's like in the 80s.
Oh yeah, you cannot go
83 or so.
83 up to 88 or 87.
Yeah, that body style with that NASCAR Monte Carlo front end.
Yeah, the Aero Coupes were pretty cool too.
Yeah,
with the Razorback rear glass.
Guess I don't know which ones them are.
The Aero Coupes, they had instead of like the old Monte Carlos where they just came out and came down, and then they had a slanted back.
Okay.
That came further back out into the trunk, so that way they can run the Monte Carlo stock cars.
Mm.
They had to sell so many of them with that Aero back glass.
Make it a stock car, yeah.
To be able to run it in NASCAR.
I got you.
You need Tylenol or something? Just feeling the pain of walking like 30,000 fucking steps in the last 2 days.
Wow.
Well, I mean, we ran like what? What do you want? What are you pleasing for? You had dinner. You had a drink that you spilt on the couch. What else do you want? I'm not reaching in here for you. Here, you want a diaper? You want to go night-night?
No.
Well, then go play. Do you want a diaper? Do you want to go night-night? No.
On my YouTube, it's like flashing. I don't know if anybody else is doing that, but
what they're doing?
Just the screen's just flashing.
I can't see any of that stuff because literally I can only look at the StreamYard stuff. So if there's anything going on in the stream, I need to know because I can't like normally I monitor all that stuff. I have the stream up and playing so I can see if there's something going wrong with it, but I can't do any of that. And I'm sure you probably heard my phone vibrate.
Well, on my screen it's flashing. I don't know if anybody else's is.
What's it doing? Can you turn it around and show me?
Maybe it's not going to do it now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
it's doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be lag from trying to do this live stream over my cell phone signal. Hold on. It might also be the fact that I'm on Wi-Fi instead of my actual. Okay. Now we should actually be on my cell phone service. So
okay.
hopefully,
well, so far it's not doing it.
You're gonna see that we all like reset or whatever. But I guarantee you the Wi-Fi was definitely a lot slower than what my cell phone service can provide because
Pilot says it's fine there, so it might be my phone.
It might be, but you know we're on my regular, which I have full bars at 4G, so I definitely don't have any issues with cell phone service. Oh.
What the fuck?
We didn't even hear that, Biggie.
I know.
I can't
Just sat down and knocked something down behind my chair.
Luca, stop.
I'm back with pizza.
Well, you gonna share?
Oh yeah, here, just there. Smell it.
Can't get enough of that. All right, so let's do. We already did what's in the cup because I'm drinking water. Well, we can do it. Cletus, what are you drinking today?
Water.
Water? What about you, Biggie?
My usual citrus Lipton.
Yeah, I got one bottle here. I got another bottle over here. So yeah, I got 2 bottles of water sitting here. I'm good.
High quality H2O.
High quality H2O. Straight from Walmart. Great value purified drinking water.
It probably came from Flint, Michigan.
No, it usually says on there.
Yeah. Well, Walmart's based out of Arkansas, so maybe it came from here.
Distributed by Walmart Inc., Bentonville, Arkansas.
Yeah, Bentonville, Arkansas. That's right down on the border of Missouri.
It's the gallons usually where it says where it's from.
Yeah, because I mean, just because it says distributed by, that's just where it left the.
It's distributed by Walmart because it's being sold at Walmart.
Yeah, well, it probably came from up there. There's plenty of water up there, so.
Well, it's reverse osmosis. It's not even saying it's spring water, so
yeah,
they could literally pour that through a tap, through a purified system, and straight over. They could do that anywhere.
Right.
Pilot is drinking ice handles unusual. Pilot also saying he's on his PC. I'm on my mobile phone recording and viewing this on a Galaxy S9. Yeah, it's actually got a pretty good camera for cell phone.
Yeah.
I always want to say that this camera is better than the webcam that I use at the actual at my desk, even though that's an HD webcam.
Yeah.
Oh, but all right. So we done what's in the cup. We got no. By the way, everybody take 10 seconds and condolences for Mrs. Formy's dad. I think it was It was dad that passed away. I think I saw that in the. That's who you have to go back to the chat, Biggie, and make sure it was her dad. I think it was her dad. Passed away. That is why Chris and Miss Formy are not in this week's live stream. So Chris had let me know that he was not going to be here tonight because they are grieving their loss.
Sorry for their loss.
With that being said, so we will not have a what's in the truck this weekend, unless one of you guys has a truck with something in it. Do you have
My truck's got tires in it.
We weren't supposed to tell us what was in it until after we guessed.
Oh,
yeah. Well, we could have done we could do what's in my truck, because I technically have a truck.
Well, what's in the truck?
Well, I guess
An engine.
No, that's the only thing that's not in the truck.
Oh.
Well, in the truck.
Right. That's what I was guessing in the bed.
At one point, there was a running joke because I had my green truck, and it had a check engine light on it. And one of the posts that I posted was the check engine light. And I turned around and I took a picture out of the back glass at another 318 that was sitting in the bed of the truck. It's there. It was I had on my Facebook for a while.
That's funny.
That was actually the new engine that we had picked up for that truck when it blew the engine that it had in currently. Actually, no, I lie. The engine that was in the bed of the truck was the original engine. The new engine was in the engine bay at that point of that picture. So, hey, we have Ken from Ignited Garage. And we are going to say hello from Salem, Massachusetts. Ken's from Canada. Never mind. I knew he was up here somewhere, but it's Canada. It's not in the United States. He does a lot of drift stuff on his channel. In fact, he has an LS swapped. What an Integra. What is it? It's a Honda, I think. An LS swapped. It's a pretty badass little car. He did a burnout in his freaking his garage one night and literally smoked out the whole garage. Almost slid the car almost slid into the freaking wall. It was another freaking live stream. Yeah, he can probably tell us what LS swapped vehicle it is. I do believe, like I said, I do believe it's a Honda. I just don't remember I don't remember what it is.
It's a Kia Soul.
Yeah, right. An LS swapped Kia. I don't think there's enough space in that engine bay for an LS.
Hey, you can make it happen. I believe in you.
You just cut out the firewall. Rain Tier
240.
Caddy in the garage using the wife's Grand Cherokee. The new Grand Cherokees are actually kind of cool looking. They kind of almost look alien.
Yeah.
With that,
there's been a bunch of lemon laws on them though. Apparently they're having some wiring issues, but not all of them, of course, just some.
Yeah, I would love to have one of those the Jeep trucks.
Yeah.
Commander or whatever it is.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what the new ones are called. I know what the old ones are called.
Yeah, the Comanches.
Yeah, but the new ones are Gladiator. There you
go. But they absolutely look hideous stock. Cannot stand them at stock ride height with stock wheels. They look freaking absolutely. They look like a tart bus.
My problem is they drive like a Jeep, and Jeeps drive like shit.
Jeeps are not meant to drive on the road.
Right.
Jeeps are built to drive off road, which I mean.
And they're great off road.
Right, but just like anything else, when you build something for a specific application, it doesn't do too well in other applications. I don't care how. I mean, I wouldn't buy a Jeep for it to be a good daily driver.
Oh, there's plenty of pavement princesses out there.
Oh yeah, wow. Florida was full of them last week.
Oh, I'm sure Florida was.
What?
I'm sure Florida is, yeah.
No, they had the freaking truck nationals, the 2020 truck nationals down in Florida. We have I have somebody that I follow. In fact, I found her through the YouTube call out events in Cecil County, Maryland, from Street Speed and them. They did that Run What You Brung event down in Cecil County, where they had a bunch of YouTubers come out, put on basically like a drag racing show.
Yeah.
And they also had it so that way if you signed up ahead of time and picked up a slot, you could run with them, in your own whatever you brought. It was really cool. But there was a young girl that was up there, and she's I don't know if she's 18 or 19 now. But I follow her on Snapchat, and I also have her on Facebook. But she had a third gen Dodge Ram that she picked up, just plain Jane, forgotten third gen, and she tore it all apart and built it up, and she did all the paint and body work herself. And she's like an automotive detailer as her profession.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that like pulls her whole interior out, cleans the whole
right.
paint corrects the paint, does all that stuff, the auto detailing and whatever. So she went over and did this truck. It was like an ugly brown, not even like a nice look. Like my truck's a nice looking brown. This was just hideous, like a gold brown. It was just gross. But she's been teasing about the color for like months. Like even when they had the event up here at Carlisle and Bloomsburg, she was teasing about what color this truck was even then. But she revealed the color. The truck came out absolutely gorgeous. It's like a maroon. She painted it. She did like color matched everything, the bumpers, the mirrors, everything. She put a lift kit on it, put some decent rims and tires on it. Now I do have to. She did not go with the whole like freaking dub like tires way too thin.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of meat on them. They're not like what I would consider old school, like 15, 16-inch rims, but like 20-inch rims, but not like 22, 24s. She did a really good job with it. It was actually really gorgeous looking. But yeah, but she was taking pictures down there, and oh my God, there was sag ass after sag ass after sag ass. Yeah,
talking about the Tennessee tilt.
Is that what they call it?
Sags in the back? Yeah, that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's what my Nova looked like when I bought it.
Yeah, that's
I could have gone down. I could have been rolling that from the factory, and I would have been cool. No, I don't think so.
I guess somebody would have thought you was cool.
If you look at some of the first pictures of my Nova, that's how it looks. The front end is all up high in the air, and the back end is down low in the freaking weeds, and I absolutely couldn't stand it. If you look at my car now, it's exactly the opposite. The front end is so far down. I think I only have like maybe 2 inches in front of in between the cross member and the ground, and the front end.
Oh, Pilot, let me rephrase that. Not all Jeeps run like shit or drive like shit. Jeep Wranglers drive like shit. That's what I was saying, and they're meant to be off road. That's what we were talking about. So
yeah, they don't drive well on the road because they're not meant to drive well on the road.
Right.
They're meant to get you off the road.
Not Jeep Cherokees. They drive really nice, actually. I have a one outside, a Laredo, that's driving great.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Jeep Cherokees are meant to be road handlers. They're a people mover. They do okay off road, but they're not the best off road.
No, they're capable.
The old Cherokee Classics were.
Yeah.
But the newer, the Grand Cherokees, they're not meant to be off road. They're people movers.
Yeah, they're super smooth. Now they do have some the Trail Hawks, I think they're called. They can do pretty well off road.
Yeah.
The Cherokee Trail Hawk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're called. They're pretty expensive though.
The Streamlabs just reminded me. I'm not sure who the Stream Boss is this week because I can't see it. I'm not sure if you're still at the top or if
no.
It's,
I think Desiree. I think there's her name. I think she has it right this second.
She nabbed her spot. See, and that's the other thing, nobody's worried about who the Stream Boss is if nobody can see it.
Yeah.
If they can't see it, it doesn't exist. Honey, did you change his diaper before he passed out? You might want to change his diaper before he is fully asleep.
Yeah, it could be pretty shitty.
Oh, you guys have to entertain him first. Entertain the chat for half a second.
Okay.
I have to take care of this before he falls asleep and we end up having issues.
Pilot says she wanted a Jeep for the snow there. Is it all-wheel drive, Pilot? And he says he has a brown metallic CTS. Cocoa metallic with tan leather. All right. Hey, Grimm's Auto Service just got here. Hey, Grimm's. What game you playing today, Big E?
None, actually.
Oh. Thought you'd be playing a game.
Yeah, you thought.
Y'all still playing SnowRunner?
Oh, I was on there earlier, and oh my god. The game is just doing everything in its power to piss me off.
Oh. I'm still playing Mud Runner, so I haven't graduated to SnowRunner yet.
They changed just enough about SnowRunner so it's still interesting, but they don't change enough so that it's still infuriating.
Ah.
I had my truck stuck on a tree. I don't know, mean like on the side or nothing. No, my truck was like on a tree.
Oh.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of that earlier.
It looked like my truck was like coming off over the hill like it was the General Lee, but no.
I have to say that SnowRunner is definitely better than Mud Runner.
It is, but it's also more infuriating.
It has some issues, yes. Apparently, there's one contract where you have to deliver stuff to get some power up and going, and the end where you deliver all of the stuff in the square that you deliver the stuff. Apparently, one of the telephone poles that you put up to run the power lines that you brought all you bring all the stuff to this location as soon as you bring all the stuff there and okay it. Like it puts up all the power lines and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently, if you park your car in a certain spot, the power pole will literally spawn inside your truck and literally stake you to the ground.
Oh dear.
You brought all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, power pole through the center of your truck.
That is subpar.
Well, the only thing you can do is respawn the truck back to the freaking garage because there's no way.
Yeah. You're done.
Yeah, you're staked in place.
It's the game equivalent of stick a fork in me.
Pretty much. But yeah, I know
hole in me.
You're having have you figured out where you can drive and where you can't drive on the ice yet on that map?
More or less.
The best way to go is right around the edge where it's all like rocky and bumpy. Like all the where the ice is smooth is not where you want to drive. You want to drive on the edge where the ice starts to get busted up and broken. Because that will never break. No matter how big of a truck you roll through there with, it will never break.
Yeah. And it's pretty obvious where it will and won't break though.
But even where you say where you think it won't break, if you bring too heavy of a truck, it'll still break.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But it's less likely to break there.
I found one spot where it's like a really narrow strip of ice that will break, and if you have a big truck, just drive over quickly.
Yeah, pretty much. There's also spots where they have like cement slabs laying around. You can actually pick them up and create a bridge across where the ice is.
Oh, no kidding.
So if you have a crane, you can actually literally pick them up and move them around and place them down over top of the ice.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've been watching that one character on YouTube that does a lot of the I've watched him all the way from Spin Tires.
Mm-hmm.
That guy that I sent the video to you, TC something. There's a bunch of numbers.
TC 9700.
Yeah, he's been putting out Spin Tire content all the way from Spin Tires. So I followed him all the way up through Mud Runner, up into Snow Runner. He covered the back when they did the Hot Wheels tracks for Forza Horizons and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had him on my channel list for I don't even know how long. I think I was in Reading. Yeah, I was in Reading before following him. So that just tells you how long. I've been with Jess for 5 years now. So 6-7 years I've followed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm up to like 1,927 subs.
Nice.
So,
Getting close to 2,000 mark.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to have to send some T-shirts out or something. Make a merch drawing.
I would have to the thing is, for me to start being able to give away T-shirts, people would have to start paying for t-shirts.
Ah.
You see, it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to buy t-shirts when people aren't buying them. You gotta have, you gotta
I
have
get
that.
it. Yeah.
You kind of have
Gotta
to have
have
that. You kind of have to have that. A couple of them sold, so that way you have some ability to give one or two away without just putting yourself further in the hole.
I'm gonna start making car stickers for the back window. And when I sell a car, I'm gonna put my YouTube sticker on it.
Oh, there you go. That's actually smart.
So they'll be driving around,
But
everywhere with.
as long as you make it small enough that it's not obtrusive to the new owner, they most likely won't take it off then.
Well, I'm gonna make it big enough where it could be seen, but small enough where I could put it at the top of the glass and it not be in the way.
Right.
Yeah.
So like just the edge or whatever.
I actually have two YouTube banners for cars.
Mhm.
There's no point in me putting. I mean, I could put them on the Kias,
Yeah.
but what I wanted to use them for was to put them on the truck, because the
Yeah.
truck was my daily driver.
Mm.
It's just never. They've just been like I have two tattered flag vinyl stickers, like the smaller ones,
Mhm.
for the quarter windows on the side of the truck.
Yeah.
And then I have the one big one that's for the tailgate. And then I have the Novatazz YouTube ones. But like I have everything to do that, to sticker that truck out. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, speaking of old Dodge trucks, so I've been working on this '96 model that I'm finally finished with, pretty much. I couldn't get the AC to not blow out the dash, or it was only blowing out the top and not out of the dash.
Hmm.
So I finally found it. It was a vacuum line. It broke. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
letting it. Yeah, it wasn't letting it switch. But when I went to pull the dash cap off, it just crumbled. Of course.
Oh yeah.
So now there's no dash up there. It just had some little cracks in it, and it just crumbled in pieces. It's like,
You can pick up a cap for those that literally
Mhm.
just snaps in place for like 150.
This one was the one I bought was like 112 or something on eBay. So
Yeah, they're not expensive to just put a
yeah,
cap. Mine was already done before I bought it.
and most of them are. And this one, like I said, they had glued it already, but
My green one had no dash. It
yeah,
was all on. It was
yeah.
all duct taped when I first got it. And it didn't last very long. The black one, I mean the brown one that I have now, the whole dash is black, which absolutely looks gorgeous on that truck.
It didn't
So
come like that, probably, but
and the thing is, it's not a cap.
yeah,
They literally replaced the whole
yeah.
dash.
I was looking at that. You can replace the whole dash, and it's $380
Yep,
just
with
for
a
the
whole
part.
new. And the thing is, it's not an original NOS,
Right,
so you're not going to end up with that problem again.
right.
It's an updated product. It's still a Dodge product. At least
Oh,
the one that I have is still a Dodge product. It's not an aftermarket product. It's just an updated material.
well, and
So
I don't know how much shipping was. That was just the part when
mine's
I
the
found it. So,
mine's the original mold.
mm,
So it's still like
look
everything fits
original.
where it's supposed to. It's just updated plastic.
Yeah,
And they never painted it to match the rest of the plastic in the truck, but
they really should have did a recall on them.
they should
And
have, because every
replaced.
single one is garbage.
Right. I was surprised to see this one still had the dash, and of course, I just needed to move it just a little bit, and the whole thing shattered. It was like glass.
Pilot says one eye scraper sticker gone. Looks like shit. I have never had a problem. Now, granted, I know where all the stickers are on my truck and my other cars. I've had
It-
stickers on
we don't
my
have to
Nova.
deal with that down here, I guess.
Yeah, I had stickers on my Nova almost from day one. I've always had stickers on the back quarter windows. I've always had the if you're close enough to read this, you're too close. And the what's the one with the angry eyes? No fear.
Yeah, the old '90s no fear stuff.
I've always had that. I've always been in the center of the back glass of my Nova. I've never had an issue with scrape, and I've always had the front because like the Novas are horrible for sun glare.
No.
So you had a brow.
I've always had that brow across the top of the front windshield, above that line that you're supposed to. Now, every single other window in my car, besides the rear glass and both the rear quarters, were always tinted to like 25-30%.
Yeah.
The brow was blacked out, and then the only thing that wasn't tinted was my my driver's side and passenger side windows, because I never really wanted that much attention. I did run a like a, I don't know what you want to call it, but it was like it's like a skull with flames that came off the back of it, and I ran that right at the very top of my driver's side and passenger side door glass.
Yeah.
So when you pulled the window down almost all the way, it would literally sit on top of the door sill, and it looked really cool, kind of like, you know, like a passenger. And I always ran that. Almost, that was one of like the second or third stickers that I ever bought for that car. But I've never had a problem with scraping my vinyls off of the glass. The Kia Souls and my truck, they have that for Fox Sake sticker. It's a door, and it's a picture of a fox, and then underneath it says Sake. We've run those on the cars. Never had a problem with scraping them off, and so they've been for 5 years. Never had a problem with it. Yeah, never really had a problem with stickers on the cars with scraping them off with a scraper. But then again, you just let the car heat up a little bit, and most of the ice comes off. You don't need to scrape it really hard. You know, if you just let your car warm up for 5 minutes, you have to do nearly none of the scraping you would have to do if you went at it right away. Start the car, let it run for 5 minutes, come back out, scrape the freaking thing. Half the stuff slides right off the glass.
Well, a lot of the newer cars, like my sister, the reason she flew down from New York is she was coming by a vehicle from me, as a Yukon Denali, and it has heated mirrors, it has heated steering wheel, the back glass is heated, even the front glass has a little thing through it to heat it without the defrost. So it's
cool.
they make them now that it's all kind of defrosted.
You want to hear some shit? My Trans Am has a rear defrost glass.
Nice.
So the rear glass of my Trans Am has a rear defrost on it. And I don't give a shit. The Nova or the TA, you let them sit for 2-3 minutes running, you don't have to freaking scrape a goddamn thing off of those windshields.
Nice.
The heaters on those cars will kick out some heat. You will be nice and toasty in either of those cars within 5-10 minutes of that car running. Now, the Nova, as long as you're driving, the Nova before I fix it, the Nova when I was daily driving it, you were driving anything over 5 miles an hour, and the air coming through the car was enough to combat the heater.
Does your Nova have the antenna in the windshield?
Yep.
Cool.
In the windshield?
Yeah, I didn't remember. My 75, I don't remember if it did or not, but I know my 84 Jimmy does.
Both my Nova and the Trans Am have the windshield antennas.
I thought them were pretty cool.
If you don't know, Biggie, back in the 70s, you could get a car that didn't have an antenna out on the fender.
Yeah.
It would right at the base, in the center of the windshield, at the base, they had two ground wires that would come up through the center of the glass and then branch out along the roof line. That was your antenna.
They actually work really well too.
Oh, they work, and you know what? I think that they would be better than what they have today with the stupid little shark fin.
Yeah.
And it would be a lot cleaner, but I think people like the shark fin.
Yeah, my truck's got the shark fin.
Well, I like the shark fin better than the old wag antennas or whatever they call them.
Yeah. But yeah, I had my Trans Am has the the heated rear glass. The Nova does not. The Nova did have that option, but mine didn't come with it. I do have what they call the deluxe glass, which is the tinted brow, and then the antenna in the glass. That was the deluxe glass. Both my cars have that.
Have you ever had to replace that? Either
Yes.
one? Are they pretty expensive?
When I replaced the one in the Nova, it was like $300 and some.
Ouch.
When I replaced the one in the TA, it's going to be probably more than that because the TA glass is more expensive than the Nova glass.
Right.
Especially as long as I don't have to replace the rear glass on the TA, I'm good. I don't want to have to replace the rear glass on the TA.
Yeah, I'm used to paying like $150 for a windshield, but nothing in that. It's all newer cars, so.
Right. Well, it's like $300 for the regular glass for the Nova is like $100, $150, but the deluxe glass is because it's got the already in it, and then the antenna as well.
Gotcha.
Now the truck has heated mirrors. It does have it just has the heated mirrors. It doesn't have heated rear glass. The front, it just obviously just the regular defrost. The truck has it has the upgraded sound system. It has the storage rack underneath the back seat. It has both the opening doors. Like my green truck only had the driver's side opening door.
Third door, yeah.
Yeah. It didn't have both doors. But yeah, and the other thing is the back seat in the green car, the green truck didn't fold up. It was just a standard bench. Whereas the brown truck, the seat folds up, and then you have that whole like storage system underneath the seat.
In case you had to haul something a little bigger.
No, it's more for like keeping. Like I use it for keeping all of my toe straps and hitches and all of that stuff in there. Before I used to just have a box that I stuffed underneath the back seat in the green truck. But yeah, it's mainly just for storing like your work essentials. Like if you have a couple tools or stuff, whatever. Like if you have a small toolkit or something, you can store that in there. It's split up into a bunch of little cubies.
Cool.
Not much unlike the freaking. If you've ever, I don't know if your Kia Soul has it, but if you lift up the back carpet in the Kia Soul, there should be a styrofoam storage unit underneath of that. And then the spare tire should be, well, if you had a spare tire, it would be underneath that. Most of the Kia Souls came with an air pump and
most new cars come with just the run flat stuff.
Yeah, you had to actually order a spare tire.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I haven't put. I don't know. I just got the Kia Soul like 2 hours ago. So
yeah.
I know it has the two color seats, and then the speakers light up colors, and
all of them. The speakers light up.
I know the was it the Kia Soul? It's the Plus model or the exclamation point. One of them doesn't.
The Plus model has the light up speakers. We have the gray one, which is the one we have with us right now, is a base model. Not even just a regular Kia Soul. No Kia Soul Plus, no Kia Soul exclamation point.
There's no pluses.
It also has the base stereo. The Kia Soul Plus that we have has the touchscreen colored display with the backup camera.
Yeah.
Be prepared for that to not last long at all, because apparently those units just fail. At first the backup camera started being funky, and then the whole head unit just crashed. There's no sound out of it. The backup camera doesn't work at all. The clock resets itself every couple of times you start the car. It's just junk, and they're like $400 just to replace the stock head unit in that car.
Well, yeah.
And that's my price on a used one. It's not even a brand new.
A used one.
Yeah, they're expensive.
God
damn. They do have a recall on the seat heat remote start.
I'll be right back again.
That shark fin is for also your regular antenna. but most cars come with satellite radio, but I prefer not having the shark fin, but that's just my personal thing. I just think it just sticks out and makes some of the cars look weird. I wish some of my cars had a remote start. Be nice to just freaking point the thing out the window and start the truck without having to go out there and freaking scrape the snow off of it just to get into the vehicle to start it. If I can't see the car, my phone can start it. That's even better. What did Hank say? Okay, I already read Hank's remark. Anyway.
Well, my headphones have died, so hopefully this will work.
No, you sound just
for
fine.
now.
You sound just fine.
Okay. Well, I know if anything's going on in the background, you guys would hear it. So.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. I mean, I don't know if you can hear Jess listening to TikTok or whatever she's doing, but I'm definitely not going to tell her not to do her thing because we're all stuck in a small hotel room.
Right. Well, TikTok's important.
Considering her TikTok is to my YouTube. Let's just put it that way. So whereas do what? Maybe. Because we were talking about background noise. And no, I'm not complaining about your background noise. I wasn't complaining. I just said that they said that TikTok was important. But yeah, like where I make videos on YouTube, she does videos on TikTok. So yeah, TikTok.
Yeah, my wife and my daughter are big on TikTok stuff.
Yeah, she started out doing cosplay stuff, and at the moment she does reviews for like the Petro box and stuff that we have for car guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have boxes for paganism and witchcraft, and she does reviews on those boxes. Tell you what, her channel's growing pretty good. I mean, she's got a couple hundred subscribers, and every time she posts a video, she gets. I guarantee you, she gets more views on that than I do when I post a video right off.
Yeah,
she'll have views by the end of the night than I will have after like 2 or 3 weeks of putting out a video.
How is your latest video going anyway?
I can't check you right now, but I think I was up above 80 views.
Okay, slow grower.
Yeah, well, it's a niche video. I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't expecting it to blow up. It's one of those videos you have in your library because it's one of those ones that will constantly have, it'll be constant views. It may not be it's not a viral video, but it's one of those ones that, it's like I said, why do big channels or channels that have been out for a long time, why do they do so well? Well, because they have hundreds of videos out there, even if the videos only get 1 or 2 views a week. When you have literally hundreds of videos getting 1 or 2 views a week, that adds up, and then it's the exact same way. If you have videos bringing in you a couple bucks a week, and you times that by a couple hundred,
right, it adds up.
Yeah, like, geez, if you have 500 videos and each video brings you in $1 a month, by singly, my video only makes me $1 a month. Times that by 500, you got $500 a month steady income. It's the same way with I have well over 300 and some videos. Some only make me a couple cents. Some make me $30, $40. But when you add them all up, you end up, that's where you get that nice consistent income. Versus, like, I can put out a video, it can go viral, it can make me a lot of money, but after it goes viral and it nosedives, that video is no longer bringing in you that, then you got to pump out another one, and you got, you know what I mean? versus when you have hundreds of videos out there, you don't need the video to spike like that because you're just going to have, you're just going to have that steady flow. Would you rather?
I had one video for the first year. It got like 1 view a day, maybe, and then now it consistently gets at least 30 to 40 video views a day. Yeah. Sometimes more than that, but at least consistent.
Would you rather have a video that goes viral that spikes within a week and then falls on its face, or would you rather have a video that literally just trickles views? Or I shouldn't say a video. Would you rather have one video that goes viral or hundreds of videos with trickling views?
Well, trickling views it'll add up quicker.
Well, that and the trickling view video will have a higher CPM.
Right.
So you will literally get more money per view with the trickle view than you will get with the viral view. You'll get more money out of the viral video all in one shot, but its CPM will not have a chance to grow before it dies. Whereas that trickle video, the advertiser will say, this video gets consistent views. We will consistently get people to see these ads. So they're going to be more willing. They're going to be willing to pay more for that ad space than they are on the viral video, because the viral video will go up and then go down. But that's just the way that works. I would much rather have 100 or so videos that consistently get small views than one video that gets a lot of views.
Well, I've been speaking with another YouTuber that may want to come on the show sometime. So after this is over, I'll speak with you on the side or whatever to see if we could set something up. So.
Well, what you have somebody else that wants to come watch the show?
Yeah, he may want to come on and do at least one podcast or show with you or whatever. So, but he's a pretty big YouTuber, so we'll sit on the side and get it all worked out.
All right, yeah, I've got to make sure that I'm more set up than I am tonight.
Yeah. I'll make sure you have plenty of advance notice. But yeah, I think he just hit 3 million subscribers or something. So he's pretty big. He's growing. Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've had Steve from Hammer Down Motorsports on my channel, but he was only at like 10,000.
Yeah.
At that point, VOC, and I had C Outlaw SS. I don't think he's got more than. He doesn't have a crap ton. I've had Jason and Grant, which Jason is about at 5,000 subs now. Grant's right about where I'm at, right around 2,000.
It's a constant growth, though.
Yeah. I've had. Well, Greg was never Greg was never on my channel. I was on his. Let's see, who else? I've had some big people say that they were going. I was supposed to have Send It Steve at one point, and
his channel's blowing up. It's getting big.
Yeah, and Diablo Formula Racing I was supposed to have on my channel at one point. Those are little PA guys. But some stuff just never happened. I never expected to have somebody really, really big. I mean, I don't get the views for them to. If they hung like Steve from Hammer Down Motorsports hung out just because he liked the channel.
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger YouTubers, they're not going to come hang out if they're not going to get the views to expose their own channel to new people. I mean,
right. Well, and I don't think the guy that I'm speaking with, I don't think that's his goal. He started out on a Facebook group. That's how I met him. He started out with a few hundred subs, and it's just his channel kind of took off, and it's still growing every day. So
I think my channel would take off and grow if I was able to bring on the podcast. It's not going anywhere. I'm here every week.
Yeah.
Though I also, I would love to see the podcast grow in popularity and have more people hang out with us. But that also takes more than just me, sharing it and getting it out there. It takes everyone that enjoys it to do so. And sharing it in the right place. Because yeah, you can share it, but if you're sharing, it's like coming into an empty room and saying, "Hey, I have this great show that I like to watch. Would you like to watch?" You know what I mean? And if there's nobody in there, or you
Right.
have a room full of ladies that like flowers, and you're trying to sell them freaking, I don't know, a race car. It's not going to work. You're preaching to the wrong audience. And that's kind of like me. Like my Facebook is mainly family. So like I can shout out all I want, but it's not the right crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well,
pretty
most
much,
of them YouTube, Facebook groups are junk. Most of
yeah,
them are. There's a couple that are out there that are good, but
and the thing is anything, if you're going to grow on any of those platforms, whatever you can do organically, they're going to squash
yeah.
because they want you to pay for ads.
Sure.
They want you to pay to promote your business because they want that cut. And is Facebook used to be different. You used to be able to put ads on Facebook for your own personal business and everybody would see it.
Sure.
Facebook got smart. They're like, well, if this is an ad, we're going to limit its views so that way you're more willing to pay to get those views. And the Facebook is the opposite of YouTube, whereas advertisers, you can promote your advertisers will promote your stuff on YouTube because they want you to get your stuff out there because they want their ads to be shown. Whereas Facebook is the other way around. Facebook doesn't want to promote your shit because they want you to pay to have it promoted. I started out with my Facebook group, well over 2,000 subscribers on my Facebook group. I would get well over a couple hundred likes and views on it in a day that I would post stuff, and then they came out with the algorithm, and I'm lucky if I get 50 or 60 people that see my posts. See it. Not even like it or comment, literally just see it. So Facebook, for me to promote my YouTube channel on Facebook is absolutely freaking a waste of time.
Right.
I actually get more interaction off of Instagram. And even Instagram's the same way now.
Well, it's owned by Facebook, so.
Yeah. Before Instagram didn't used to be owned by Facebook.
Right.
And yeah, you could post something and you would be seen, as long as you had the right hashtags on it, it would be seen by a lot of people. And now today, unless you're going to promote your post, it doesn't get seen.
Well, knowing what you know now, and if you could go back with all you learned about YouTube, how it is and how it was, if somebody was starting today, how would they get 1,000 subs and 4,000 or 4,000 watch time, like from scratch? What would you recommend to them?
I mean, not to put anybody down, because today it's 10 times harder to do what we used to do 7-8 years ago.
Right.
Because I've been on Facebook since 2014. I mean, not Facebook, YouTube. I've been posting videos on YouTube since 2013 or 14. And what I did back then versus today would be completely different. I mean, like today, consistency, but not like crap consistency.
Yeah. So like the
you can't just start throwing stuff up there to get videos. But the other thing is the bigger your library, get your library big as quick as you can.
Right.
Which means you want to, like, you can slow down when you get bigger and be okay. But when you're smaller, you got to think about it. That whole thing we were talking about earlier about the having many videos that get small amount of views a day, think about each one of those videos as, a panhandler out there in the city collecting change.
That's why the content farm videos do so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5-minute crafts and all that bullshit.
Because they just pump them out.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I would tell you, don't get into automotive YouTube. It's too expensive.
Sure. Unless you have a bunch of money, right?
It depends on what you're doing. If you were going into YouTube to make money, if you're going into YouTube and your goal is to make money, low overhead, quick to turn around. I mean, granted, that's any money marketing thing, you know,
Sure.
and also a video that will make itself money. That's why automotive YouTube, unless you're big, isn't worth it.
Right.
Parts cost too much.
Hard to get into.
The parts cost too much. I mean, unless you have money. If you have money, whatever. But like, I don't have money.
Yeah.
I don't have money. I don't make money on YouTube. I make whatever. I'm gonna tell you this: anything that I put into YouTube right now, or anything that I get out of YouTube, normally goes right back into YouTube. Between cost of software, cost of services for music, because unfortunately, free copyright free music sucks. You can only have so many. So paying for a site that has a large growing library of copyright free music, or at least the ability to sell you the rights to music, it's not necessarily copyright free. It's just you have the legal rights to use it. You're paying for the right to use that music. So between, you know, obviously equipment, computers, cameras, all of that stuff, you know, yeah, because like, geez, it's going to take me a while to cover the cost of that computer.
Sure.
What I make off of YouTube right now. So not even considering the cost of what I just put into that computer. Just in software and licensings and stuff like that, you know, what is it? Yeah. What's that the thing that you can monitor your YouTube statistics with?
YouTube Studio.
No, not that.
You're talking about the one you pay for?
Yeah. The one that lets you know what everybody's using for.
Yeah, I don't mess with that one, but I know what you're talking about. I've heard people use it.
It's worth it. It's worth it in alone just to see what other people are using and what is actually like the coolest thing that I find with it. Number one, it gives you everybody's hashtags. So any video that you watch, if you're watching a video, you can tell what hashtags they used.
Mm.
You can tell what hashtags were actually gaining, like what people were actually using, like searching for, what hashtags were actually hitting.
Mm-hmm.
It lets you know a bunch of different stuff, where they shared their videos to, things like that, and that lets you know what's working and what's not for them. Some of them, it's just the fact of how big they are. They could literally put nothing in their freaking. They could literally put nothing in their description, nothing in their hashtags.
But they have enough people watching them all of a sudden, like Chris Fix is now.
Once you get above once you get above a certain bubble,
yeah,
none of that stuff matters.
Right.
Because literally, it's just their name that people hit on. You know, you get so big that you become the hashtag. But yeah, when you're small, all of that stuff matters. Thumbnail. I can put out the same video. One, have a generic thumbnail from the video where you just let YouTube pick it. One where I just put out a quick thumbnail that I threw up, and one that I put a thumbnail up that I actually like thought about what I was putting on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
A clickbaity thumbnail and title will definitely get people in.
Not necessarily clickbaity, but you also need to think about advertising. That thumbnail is your advertisement.
Sure.
That is what people are going to see. You don't have, I mean, you can easily go the freaking clickbait route. Easily.
You'll make some people mad with that, though.
Well, yeah, but I've done it. I have done it to prove a point. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You have that one video where I have a picture of my truck with a bunch of freaking flammable barrels around it. And it's literally said, sorry, but I had to. Mm-hmm. It's implying the fact that I lit my truck up, you know? Yeah. But in reality, the title literally was, I'm sorry for clickbaiting the freaking, you know, the thumbnail. But it worked. But the problem is yes, it works. It gets people to click on the video. But then again, you have to have a video for people to stay. that thumbnail is the half naked girl dancing out in front of your shop. But if you have nothing in your shop that person wants to come into your shop to buy, well, then they're just going to walk right back out.
Yeah.
And that's where you get click. That's where you get. Don't even mention that name on my channel. Pilot just mentioned Scotty Kilmer.
Oh yeah.
I cannot. That is Scotty Kilmer is literally the used car salesman of the automotive YouTube channels.
Hold on now. What's wrong with the used car salesman?
Used car salesman, the one that puts the freaking wood shavings in the transmission. Used car salesman.
The shady used car salesman. Okay.
But that's normally when you say used car salesman. That's what people think of. It's the guy trying to pass off the freaking 300-mile freaking Honda Civic as a low mileage garage kept not going to talk to you as soon as you get around the corner car.
That message retracted.
But yeah, so thanks, dude. That totally derailed me right there. But yeah, you have to have a title. You have to have a title and a thumbnail that is going to get somebody in the door. But once they're in the door, you have to have that content that people are going to want to stay for. And then the other thing is you also need to make content that leads, like the way YouTube works today isn't the way YouTube used to be. The way YouTube used to be is one video. You didn't have to keep somebody on your channel. Right. Today, for YouTube to suggest your videos now, they want people to watch one video and then want to click on your next video.
Right. They want somebody wants to watch all your videos.
Yeah, you get paid more for the amount of time somebody spends on your channel per day than you do for how many videos they watch.
I used to get paid for a video because I've had my channel since 2009. I didn't have but like 2 or 3 videos on there, but I was getting paid every month just a little bit for one video until they started having to have all these subscribers. And I had, at that time, I had maybe 10 subscribers. I never even paid attention to it. I don't even know how many subscribers I had, but it definitely has changed.
If you watch my post, I know I posted a little bit ago. I know I did it on my Instagram. I think I did it on my Facebook. But when all of that started, I had 250 subscribers. But I had, I don't know if you can't, Cletus, because you're watching this on your phone. I know I posted it. I can't look it up right now because again I'm on my phone. But I had a crap ton of views. I ended up getting.
I actually have my computer right here too.
Well, yeah, it's on my Facebook at least. If you can't find it on my Instagram, but yeah, I posted it. It shows you 2017, 18, and 2020. Because I don't have 2019. And it shows you can see where it says how many subs I had, how many views I had. Because I'm pushing a lot of, I'm almost pushing a million views, I think, right now.
Oh, I actually don't follow you on Facebook. Let me follow you real quick. Hold
on. But yeah, so yeah, I had more than enough views when they threw down that gauntlet for the having so many views and so many subs. Being a how-to channel, though, I had nearly next to no subs compared to views. And I'm still that way. I get.
How long ago did you post it?
A couple weeks ago, a week or two ago. I don't post very often, so there shouldn't be very many posts there. You probably have to go back through my vacation photos because they're probably on my.
Oh, it's not on your Novatazz page.
No,
it's on your regular page. Okay.
No. But anyway, so like my issue was trying to get 750 subs in what, 2 months? Which I did because I went to every single freaking automotive page, not a YouTube page, but every automotive page that was related to my channel, and
Maybe
just
that's
spammed
a good
the
idea. Maybe I should do some of that.
and just spam the crap into my channel. Now I know a lot of people have a lot of success with Reddit. They have a lot of success with Instagram. YouTube, not, I mean, Facebook, not too much. Again, it depends on where you're going. You know, post where it's relevant for your videos, share your videos where it's relevant and they allow it. A lot of pages don't allow you to post YouTube videos anymore. But yeah, again, that's the other thing. Is what makes it hard today to start versus back then. You could post your videos just about anywhere before, but now there's so many like pages and groups you're not allowed to post to.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you're trying to get out there, but you have, it's like,
Well,
hey,
there's a lot of other YouTubers that are spamming all these other pages, so that's why you can't.
Right. But that's the thing. Back in 2014, the amount of people that were making YouTube videos was a lot less. There was a lot less channels on YouTube than there are today. And that's because everybody's seen that it's a cash grab. And that's just also what makes it so hard. What makes a YouTube channel successful? Something new, something different that hasn't been done. Those are the channels that get big. You have to, you can't do what's trending. You have to be what's trending.
Well, unless you get out there and be one of them douche tubers or one of them factory.
Well, yeah,
content factories.
Everybody loves fucking drama and stupidity. And the thing is like, I got in a fight with a coworker a while ago when I first started the job I'm at now, because I was talking about the fact that I'm on YouTube, whatever, and I've spent years. Now, granted, I haven't been doing what makes YouTube happy.
Sure.
I don't consistently put out content. I don't put out content to a schedule. I don't do what's trending and hip and now. I post what I want when I want to. My YouTube channel, yes, it brings in money, but my YouTube channel is for me. I do what I want to do on YouTube, and if somebody else enjoys it or it helps them out in some way, well, then that's a plus for me. I can go back through. There's several comments in the last week alone. My heater core video is now starting to take off. It's actually it's funny because like my door spring hack video does well during consistently, and then like the heater core, I know when winter is on the cusp, when the heater core video starts hopping up above the other video, because it'll drop down to like 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
In my order of most viewed videos for the month. It'll drop way down low, and it'll get down to like 2,000 to 3,000, because that one they do it in minutes watched, so it'll drop down to 2,000 or 3,000 minutes watched a month. And then like I'll have a few that are at like 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, and then my top one right now is the the zip tie door spring hack that sits around 10,000 minutes watched a month. The heater core video is starting to creep up there, and that one will get up as high as 80,000 views a month, minutes watched a month.
I know.
And it'll sit there for like 3-4 months, and then it'll just, the bottom will fall out of it and will drop all the way to like 2,000 views. 2,000 minutes watched.
Nobody needs a heater core in the summer, Pilot says.
Nobody thinks about it, and then as soon as it starts getting cold, the views
so now you need to come up with a video that will be big in the summer.
I do. I have Kia Soul brake light. I have a Kia Soul changing brake pads.
Do you have a Kia Soul cabin air filter video
coming?
That's a good summer one there.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's coming, because I have 2 to replace. Both the Kia Souls need cabin air filters replaced, and they're both coming.
Maybe I need to beat you to it and make the video. No.
But yeah, I have different things. I have ones that just do well all year. They never go up or down. They just consistently stay. You know what I mean? It's a consistent 6,000 minutes watched a month, a consistent 7,000 minutes watched a month, and they've been there for years. They haven't gone up. They haven't gone down. That's just where they sit. Like I said, those are those guaranteed income videos. Those guaranteed views. I'd rather have 100 guaranteed view videos than a few, that bounce all over
Blockbusters, yeah. My
Because-
most watched in watch time, or my most consistent, is installing a Bluetooth touchscreen radio, and it gets 2,200 a month.
Yeah, just consistently. That's exactly what you need. It's not gonna be exciting, but that's the ones that guarantee you a consistent, like once you get above 1,000 subs or whatever, those will be those ones that will consistently bring you in money a month.
But if I can get a few more of them, I have 2 or 3 that are doing that today. So
you need to have that consistent minutes watched a month. If you can have that consistent minutes watched a month, you're not going to have to worry about hitting that 4,000 watch time.
Right.
You're not going to have to worry about whether or not because the thing is you also don't get paid unless you hit above $100 a month.
I didn't know that. So if you have a bad month, you're not getting paid. Well,
it depends. Think of it like this: every time the dam flows over, you get paid.
Right.
So if you get, and the thing is the other thing is, if you're not hitting 1,000 subs and 4,000 minutes watch time, you probably weren't getting paid anyway.
Yeah.
Because you were going to get paid pennies.
Yeah.
And like I said, YouTube doesn't pay out until you hit above above $100 a month.
Yeah.
So like you just keep rolling. It'll just keep banking. And then once that bank, once that savings jar hits 100, then they cash it out. They cash out everything. So like if you have 120, you'll get the whole 120. If you won't just get 100, it's not like you just you only get $100 when it's on. What happens when it overflows? You hit the jackpot. You get what you have in the bank. And then you start over. So if you're only getting $20 a month, you're only going to get paid every couple of months.
Right.
You don't get paid, whatever you make a month. You have to wait till it gets above 100 because they're not going to cash a check for anything under 100.
Well, and that's how it used to be too. I used to make.
Well, it's always been that way.
Yeah. Well, I've never made more than 100 per month. So I think it was like I can remember right. It's like it took almost a year to get $100 back then. So, but I only had like 1 or 2 videos. So.
Exactly. And the more, those 1 or 2 videos, can you imagine timings that by 50 or 60?
And that's what I'm working on now, is putting up more videos.
Building up that library. That's a library, like you said, it's a library farm. That's exactly what it is. And the more plants you have planted, the more crop you will yield. And you don't need as much yield per crop to be able to make the same amount. And that's just how that works, and that's what allows some of these YouTubers to take a break, without hurting too bad, because they have that farm.
Sure.
That's that what is it, passive income?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Income that you're not working, you're not currently having to work for. And that's exactly what YouTube should be. I work when I want to work on YouTube. I didn't put out a video for what? Almost a year. That wasn't a podcast. Because A, I didn't have anything, and B, I had totally just didn't want to. I was dealing with computer issues. I was dealing with life issues. I was dealing with COVID, and just didn't motivate. How much do you make for a 300 sub at 1 million views a month? See, that doesn't.
You still got to hit that 1,000 subs.
Right, but you're not going to make anything with 300 subs. You can have a million views a month. If you only have 300 subs, you're not making anything. YouTube is literally, and YouTube will still put ads on your shit.
Oh yeah, they just won't pay you.
Get it? You know, your shit isn't ad free. Your viewers are still watching ads. You're just not getting any of it. Like if I go to click on one of Cletus's videos, there'll still be ads in his stuff. You're just not going to get the credit. You're not going to get the value for it. But yeah, you can have 1 million views a month if you only have 300 subs. You're not making anything, not at all. But yeah, I mean it's the same way. It's like, you know, it doesn't matter how many subs you have when it comes to getting paid, as far as how much you get paid per video. It goes off of several things. It's not views. YouTube doesn't care how many views you get. They're more worried about how many minutes somebody is watching your content. You get paid by how long somebody watches it, not by whether or not somebody views it. So that's the other thing is you can have 100 2-minute long videos. 20 10-minute long videos will make you more money if people are watching them 50 to 60%. Because you will literally make more money on those videos than you will the 2-minute videos. The 2-minute videos, you're not going to have enough watch time unless literally somebody binge watches your whole channel every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to get it the minutes watched. You know, like that video that I just put out, it was only 8 minutes long. Not getting the watch time on it that I'm supposed to, like what it does is, like, when I look at my analytics for my video, it'll give me the amount of views, it'll give me the watch time, and then it'll give me what's the third one? Views. Oh, views, click-through rate, and watch time. Now, your click-through rate, that's how many times somebody clicked on your video and went to, like, saw your video and clicked on it. So you have, let's say you have, your thumbnail was presented to 1,000 people. If 20% of them clicked on the thumbnail after it was presented to them, you would have a 20% click-through rate, or 2% click, whatever it is. I'm not mathing today, but you get the point. So if YouTube will present it to so many people, then what you'll have is, for the amount of people that saw your video, as it popped up, they either scrolled by it or it was displayed at the end of a video, whatever it is. It was shown on screen 1,000 times, maybe not to 1,000 different people, but it was shown on screen 1,000 times. Then you have how many times somebody clicked on that video. That's your click-through rate. Then you have the next statistic after that that's important would be views. You have to view a video, I think, for a certain amount of time before it counts as a view. So, like, you can't just, like, click on it and then exit and it count as a view. You have to click on it, watch a video. They have to watch the video for a certain amount of time for it to count as a view. And then you have what they call minutes watched. So that's how many minutes did somebody sit and watch that video. So, like that current video, it's only 8 minutes long. I have last time I checked, I'm in the bar for like where my videos typically go for views. I'm in the bar from where my videos typically are for percentage watched, but my bar for watch time is below average, again, because my video isn't as long as they normally are. I make all of my videos at least 10 minutes long because it also gives me that added time ad slot in the middle of the video. which also then will increase my CPM. That's why most YouTubers now try to get a video over 10 minutes because an advertiser is more willing to spend more if you have that extra time slot.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 300,000 subs does not matter when it comes to how much you get paid. You don't get paid for how many subs you have, well, at least not directly. A channel that has 300 subs, a ad company might be more willing to pay for a video that hasn't taken off yet, versus when you only have a couple hundred subs, because it's that expectation of audience. A YouTuber that has 300,000 subs theoretically has a bigger audience than somebody that has 300 subs.
Yeah.
So you have that it's a gamble. You have a bigger gamble with that 300 subs versus that 300,000 subs. But then you never know. That 300 sub person, at the end of the day, a million views is still a million views. But is that a million views of 1 minute each, or is that a million views of 10 minutes each? That's why I said that views and subs at the end of the day are not the important one. The important one is minutes watched.
Mm-hmm.
And click-through rate. Minutes watched and click-through rate. So how many people saw your video, how many people clicked on it, and then how long did they watch it? That's the important things. And my channel, I don't really super care. I don't necessarily make videos that are guaranteed to be interesting to everybody.
Yeah.
Edit my videos because I want them to be super interesting. I want them to do well. I want people to stay and watch them. But a lot of my videos, if you want that information, you're sticking around for the information, not because the video is engaging and keeps you entertained and tickles your funny bone. Most of my videos that do really well, they're not like, oh my god, entertaining. I've got to be some freaking embarrassing douchebag and make you laugh. I don't have fantastic edits because you're there to watch the content because you need to know how to do something. So as long as I display the content in a way that somebody that needs to learn is going to look for, I'm okay. Granted, if I'm not showing what you need to know and I'm not telling you what you need to know, you're going to click off the video. It's the thing when I'm looking for a video. I'm not looking for a Scotty Kilmer. When I want to know how to freaking replace my radiator.
Well, some people do because they don't know any better, but
right. I had this argument with my last guy at my last job. He swore by him, and I told him, I said, he's a freaking douchebag. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He just does.
If he helps you fix one thing, then all of a sudden he's good, right? That's what people I guess.
I don't know. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
I would much rather promote Chris Fix It.
Yeah. Chris Fix is good, and he's doing a great job. So
yeah, and the thing is, he still makes YouTube videos like somebody who has 1,000 subs.
He does.
Oh yeah.
Because again, he's not. The reason why he's making the videos is different. Scotty Kilmer is making the videos for views.
Definitely.
Chris Fix It is making videos to teach you how to do something. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's like me. I'm not making videos to be entertaining. I'm making videos because either it's like a video diary of what I'm going through. Like any of my Trans Am stuff, my Dodge Ram stuff, many of my personal vehicles. Those videos are more of a vlog of my garage. Whereas my how-to videos is I'm showing you how to do something. Neither of them are. I'm not doing them because I'm not doing them for entertainment purposes. You know, if I'm showing you how to do something, it's because either A, I couldn't find a video on it myself that I liked or whatever, or because I'm already doing it. Like the dishwasher video. I would not have made a dishwasher video for that if I could find a decent one on YouTube to do, why'd I do the heater core video? It would have been 10 times easier for me to just do the heater core. I did the heater core video because I couldn't find a video on how to do it right. Find plenty of videos on how to hack it.
I work on cars all the time for the car lot, and sometimes I'm like, I'll do a video on this, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't even feel like messing with it.
Exactly. Depends on how much the worth and the hassle is.
Yeah.
You okay? Honey, there is medicine in one of the boxes. Okay. She's limping on her one leg again because, like I said, we did all of that walking. Not something we're used to doing. But yeah, I mean, depends on the hassle. Like, I think I have 3 or 4 brake pad replacement videos for the Kias. I've had to replace them. We put a lot of miles on those cars. I think I've also done an oil change in one of those cars on video several times. I don't think I ever edited them and put them up on YouTube.
No.
Because just no motivation, didn't have the you take, like, even if it doesn't take you too long to film it, having the energy and the motivation to put it into something decent and put it up. I mean, could I just throw all of the clips together and click render? Sure. Will it necessarily be a great video? No.
That's what my last video was, pretty much. Just a bunch of random little small videos I put together.
But even that dishwasher video, okay? I mean, even that for me was a super quick edit. But if you notice, it's not a simple quick edit.
Right.
There's a lot of transitions. There's a lot of freaking things that were cut out. There's a lot of that in there. And all of that takes time, especially if it's a software you're not familiar with. Like right now, I'm dealing with a software I'm not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's one thing. Let's put it this way. Like when you're in a house that you know all the time, you can walk through that house with all the lights off. You know what I mean? You know where everything's at. You just go about your routine. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Versus if you're in a space you're not familiar with, it takes a lot more energy to get from point A to point B and to do something when you don't know. Let's put this in car terms. Working in your own personal garage where all your tools are where you put them and it's set up the way you like it. Mm-hmm. How quick do you get a job done? Versus doing a job in somebody else's garage with their tools and their layout. There's a little bit, it's different.
Yeah.
When you have when it's your flow and your area, you just do it. Versus like me, like I said, when I'm dealing with a new program, it's like working in a new garage. It's like your 100th day at your job versus your 2nd day at your job. Things go a lot smoother when you're in a routine and you know where everything's at and you don't even have to think about it. You just reach over here and up and there's your 10 millimeter. You reach over here, here's your BFH. You know what I mean? You know where everything is without looking.
Yeah.
Everything has a spot. Everything knows where it is. It's muscle memory. Right now, I'm not dealing with that. So for me to do an edit and everything, there you go. How about when I first started doing podcasts with the new freaking stream setup versus me doing a podcast now? If everybody was here when I was doing the podcast, when I switched from Hangouts to using, anything but Hangouts, my God, those podcasts were a freaking bear. They were horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Because geez, shit was crashing, freaking stuff with things were unmuted when they were muted when they weren't supposed to be, and scenes weren't switching, and it was all kinds of weird crap. I still have a few hookups here and there, but I mean, it's basically I've got a flow now. I know I come up, I freaking start everything up at 8:30. I get Streamlabs up and going. I send out the invites. Hopefully, people join before 9 o'clock. That way we have a group of people to start the show off with. I have my routine intro. We have our routine for things that we do throughout the show, depending on who's here and whatnot. Things go to hell after that because we don't have a script. We don't care. Whatever we talk about, wherever we end up is where we are. Somebody has a topic to bring to the table. Sure, let's talk about it. We don't have a topic. Well, we just ramble absent-mindedly until people give up and go away.
Pretty much.
I mean, geez, we started with no topic, and now we kind of have a topic of, YouTube and how to do YouTube, which is, I think, generally where we end up a lot of times.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, it's special with me on there because that's the thing I talk about quite often. So.
Yeah, and I have no problem talking about it. And then hopefully, you know what? If we get other people that want to talk YouTube, we can talk YouTube. I don't have to talk about automotive. We don't even have to talk about YouTube. I mean, it all depends on what subject takes off. I don't like having a script. I don't like having a set topic. Yes, I'm an automotive channel-ish, but I'm not even an automotive channel.
Right.
I'm a custom channel. I do anything from furniture to artwork to cars to video games to whatever I want to do.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Exactly. It's my channel. If you guys enjoy it, well, then, more power to everybody. If I can help some people out along the way, that's even better. Like I said, if I can help you out and help you, I mean, I don't think I'm the God's gift to anything. I've had a channel since 2014. I'm just under 2,000 subs, but I do kind of have almost 1 million views for only having 2,000 subs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But
yeah, you don't know everything, but you know what you know.
I'm the world's greatest editor. In fact, I don't actually necessarily enjoy editing. I edit at a necessity, just like everything else. All my logos. Why do I have nice logos? Well, because I needed nice logos and I wasn't going to pay somebody else to do it, so I learned how to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have certain things on my channel? Why do I have fixing a dishwasher on my channel? Well, because I wasn't going to pay somebody else to frickin' do it, so I learned how to do it myself. That's the way I've been since whatever. I went to school for engine technology, and I spent probably just as much time in every other shop in that school. I was in the carpentry shop. I was in the auto body shop. I was in the machine shop, picking up whatever information that I could. If we weren't doing something important in my shop, I was dropping in somewhere else and trying to figure out how to do something that they're doing. Just because that's how I am. Pretty much self-taught in everything but engine technology. So if I know something and it's not engine technology, I taught it myself. I taught myself how to do it.
Yeah.
Would I be a world-class painter? Who knows? I don't know. I've never had the equipment to be able to do it. If you were to look at my TA when I first painted my TA, which I have pictures on my Facebook of when I first painted it, it looked like glass. I knew where the spots were that were fucked up, but it looked like glass. You would not have believed. If I had people that I told them that I spray painted that car with cans of spray paint. That was a rattle can paint job. And I had people to tell me I was lying. No, I did it in rattle can. I have videos of doing it. But granted, 3 years later of it sitting out in the sun, does it look like a rattle can paint job? Yeah, right. Because rattle can paint does not hold up in UV as well as,
Right. Did you put a clear coat on it?
No.
No, that's another element to it.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is with that car, I had picked it up for $2,500. It was spotted in some original paint, some black primer. Some of it was gold with some gray primer. It was several colors. It was also only running on a couple cylinders. There was no interior in it. But it was mine, and it was a Trans Am.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say you get a good deal, but with all that going on, you
Well,
probably paid about the right amount.
the thing is well, you got to think about it. It had no interior in it, but I had all the interior in a box. I have every single piece of that car except for a carpet. The carpet was the only thing I didn't have when I bought that car. So with carpet and door panels. I didn't have carpet. I did have door panels, but they were warped. They wouldn't have looked good if I would have put them on. In fact, the car still doesn't have door panels on it. But I do have decent door panels for it now. But like I said, the car was a basket case. They had bought the car. Apparently, the previous owner had some front end damage, so the whole front end of the car was replaced. None of that was original. There's not an original piece of that front end of that car except for the shaker. The shaker was original to the car, but everything else was not.
Mm-hmm.
It had a $900 stainless steel exhaust on it. I went and priced that exhaust. It's $900.
Nice.
Actually, it's $900, not including the mufflers.
Oh.
That's also stainless steel, which I don't have those mufflers on the car right now because it didn't fit right. But anyway, so the car had 4,000 miles on it. No, 49,000 miles on it.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good for a car from 1979, and that did not roll over. It was 49,000 miles originally on that car. I'm going to say that most likely what happened with that car was it was somebody's baby that sat in, their garage all of the time. They took it out for a Sunday cruise one day. It got fucking nailed in the front end. Somebody else started putting it back together, tried to turn it into a drag car.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that was missing, like the air conditioning was missing out of it. Some other different stuff, like stuff you would take off if you're going to take it drag racing. And then gave up on it. And then the people that I bought it, bought it. The people that I bought it from bought it. And they started to do something with it. The son, it was a father-son thing. The son had no interest in it, never did anything with it. Car sat.
Mm-hmm.
It sat for 6 years. I picked it up, got it running, drove it home, and started fixing what was wrong with it. 6 months later, I got it to the point to where it ran and drove and could get inspected. Got it inspected, drove it to Dayton, Ohio from middle of Pennsylvania. It's like an 800-mile trip.
Damn.
Yeah. Went out there, did the thing, came back, and then started having problems with the car. The engine went, some other stupid stuff, and then it's just been life has gotten in the way. You can just see it on my channel. It's one thing after another.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically been the reason why my channel hasn't grown in the last, whatever. It's because I haven't been able to be consistent because my life hasn't been consistent. I haven't had a consistent place to work on them. I haven't had a consistent place to be able to keep them. I mean, a lot of the videos on my channel are me having to rescue my car from wherever I was storing it. Because it's in jeopardy of not having a home.
Do you need me to come up there and pick them up from you and move them to my house?
No, because you don't. That's been the other problem is me storing my cars in places that weren't near me. Yeah. It's really hard to work on your car when your car is an hour away. You know,
I could trade you a Kia Soul for your Trans Am.
no.
He's got enough soul.
Ah,
Yeah, I have two of them. But no, that's like two things. My Nova, you won't ever see me get rid of because that was my first muscle car. I have a lot of memories in that car. I doubled the miles on that car in the time that I had it because it originally had like 60,000 miles on it. It now has 130 something on it.
Damn.
The TA is my dream car. That was my dream car since I was a little kid. The attainable dream car.
right.
Of course,
Smokey and the Bandit got you on that, I would assume.
No, my mom.
No.
When I was born, my mom had a 1979 Gold Edition Trans Am, which is basically the black and gold, but it's gold on. That was a 400 4-speed manual car, T-top.
Got to be T-tops.
My first ever ride in a car. So literally coming home from the hospital was in that car, in the passenger seat, in my mom's lap. Because again, you didn't have car seats back then. So literally, my dad was driving, my mom was in the passenger seat holding me. First car ride ever, 79 Trans Am. So yeah, I've told this story a few times. When I first bought that car, I didn't tell my mom I bought it. I got it running enough to make it movable. The car was not even inspected yet. Now you have a certain grace period after you buy a car to go get it inspected.
Yeah.
So I was still within that grace window. I ended up driving it up to my mom's house in the middle of winter. She lives in a city, so literally there was only enough room for the car to fit down the street. And I called her up. I'm driving the car. I called her up. And the thing is these were the car has touring tires on it. So like super hard street tires in the middle of winter, limited slip rear, 40-year-old muscle car. And I drove it up. She lives in Reading, and it's up a hill. And then you have this little tiny street that she lives on. I called her when I was on the street below her and told her to come outside and go down on her front porch. I came up the road and I made the left onto her street. It's one way. And I start coming down the street and I said, "Do you see me coming down the street?" And she's like, "No." And she steps out in the street and I can just hear her start crying on the phone.
Oh my God.
Because it's like, that was her baby when I was a baby. That was her car. My mom was 17 years old when I was born.
I don't know.
And she had that car. And she just fell apart. She didn't, because I didn't tell her that I bought the car. And I come down the street in a 79 Trans Am down her street. And yeah, she literally just started bawling. But yeah, so that car is an emotional car for me. So that's like, that one would never go anywhere. There's not enough wrong with that car for me to consider selling it to get a better one. And the only reason I would get a better one is if I could find an original 400 4-speed T-top car. I can never find my mom's car because it's scrapped. You will never find it. My dad, my mom went and sold that car, drove all the way down to Georgia for the sale because she was selling it in Georgia. Drove it all the way down there. They were at a hotel, and my stepfather, my father took it out for one last joyride. Got T-boned in it.
Oh.
So my mom lost the sale and the car.
That's rough.
So yeah, that car doesn't exist anymore. So I could never get that car.
Right.
And I don't know if I'd want another 400 4-speed Gold Edition car.
Right. How would you go about finding If it was still out there, of course. I don't even know how you would go about finding them.
If you know the VIN.
Well, like my first car, I know the VIN of it, but I don't know where I could find the car.
Just start searching the VIN. Carfax is a great spot to check.
Yeah. If it's registered anywhere, it'll show up.
If it's registered anywhere, it'll show up. If it's sitting somewhere, then it's a matter of just tracking it down.
The last known place.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like anything else. You got to take whatever leads you have and start investigating. Plenty of people have found their old cars. It's possible as long as they're still on the road.
Yeah.
Or at least someone owns them. They may be in a backyard somewhere, but at least if somebody owns them, and obviously the more a car stands out, the easier it is to find.
Yeah. Well, you don't see too many 75 Novas around here, so.
No, but you never know whether it's been used for a demo derby or a circle track car, right, or if somebody got in an accident with it, or if it sat and got parted out. You check out my freaking Facebook page, fourth generation Novas. Start asking there. If there's any that they have well over 2,000 members. It's the biggest. In fact, actually, the picture for it right now is a 4th gen on a rotisserie. I haven't seen in a little bit. It's not my car. It's just it's a follower's car. I randomly will go through like recent pictures of people posted and pick out one and make it the thumbnail. I tend to go with the ones that aren't beauty queens because they always get the glory and the recognition. You're like, ooh, that one's perfect and whatever. So I like picking the ones that are the underdogs.
Yeah,
because they never get attention. It's nice to have people's cars that aren't pretty.
Well, yeah, work in progress or whatever.
Work in progress, or somebody's daily driver, somebody's baby that just hasn't been restored yet. All of those. Because, like I said, it's all well and good to have a car that's had a $20,000 restoration. Of course, everybody's going to think it's beautiful.
Sure.
You post that, it's going to have 40, 50, 200 likes on it. You know what I mean? But let's say it's your daily driver. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it. It just doesn't look pretty. You still want a recognition that you have a logo. So yeah, I post a lot of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not that I don't post beauty queens. I do, but I don't always. I like to mix it up.
Sure.
But yeah, that'd be there's a bunch of 4th gen pages. Some of them I would recommend, some of them I wouldn't, because a lot of them were actually cast-offs from my page that they just were doing some shady, not very pleasant to other members, and they got the boot or they left because they couldn't do things that they wanted to do. And they didn't like the rules or whatever, so they went off and started their own groups. A lot of them had fights with us. It's not just me. It's like I don't run that page by myself. I have like 5 or 6 other people that are admins, and we all kind of keep an eye on it because Facebook groups can get unruly.
Yeah, and then not to mention spam, and then people posting stuff that's not supposed to be posted.
If you find spam on my 4th gen page, it won't be there long.
Yeah.
It'll get removed, and you will get removed very quickly if you post spam. But yeah, because that was the whole reason I have the questions to get into the group is to weed out people that are just bots. It's basically just to make sure you're human.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a shit if you have a 4th gen Nova. I don't care. I don't care as long as you either are interested in 4th gen Novas or whatever. I don't really care. It's just more of a person trying to sell T-shirts aren't going to be able to answer that question because, well, they could, but you're more likely to weed out people that are computerized bots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just start snooping around. If you know the last person you sold it to, contact them.
Well, I sold it when I was 16, so I don't remember who it sold it to, or
Yeah, that's a
but
little ways back.
I'm pretty sure I have the VIN number, my registration from then, so I can.
Start
I've got
there.
apps for my car dealership. I got the apps. I can put the information in there, and maybe they'll tell me.
That's where I would start. Start with the VIN, and at least will give you at least some history on the car. I would say, I mean, you're more likely probably if for a 75 Nova, you're probably not going to find anything on Carfax
Probably not.
unless it's been in an accident. Because most people, if they had damaged the car, they're going to fix it themselves, and so it won't get reported.
Well, I use auto check. The good thing about auto check, it also tells you anytime somebody registers that car.
Yeah, that'll be where you get it. Yeah, registering your car, because you're not going to see them take it to a dealer.
Yeah, it does tell you that, but they wouldn't take that car to a dealer.
You're not going to take that car to a dealer. If that car gets damaged, you're most likely not going to take it to a body shop because the car is not worth anything. Those cars restored,
not in that terms, right?
Right. Those cars restored are only worth $5 to $10 grand.
Yeah. Well, and it was originally from Pennsylvania, so it already had a little bit of rust. It wasn't crazy, but
Trust me, I know rust.
I'm sure y'all do up there.
So yeah, I mean, it's like my car. It got nailed in the back end by an SUV. Never took it to a shop. I pulled the bumper off. I pulled the rear trunk off. I beat the crap out of the back freaking taillight area with a wood plank. Just beat it back out into shape. Slapped some Bondo on it. Smoothed it out. Repainted it black. Done deal. The accident that I had where I got sideswiped coming onto the highway. That never went to a body shop either.
Yeah.
Same thing. 2x4 inside the door, beat the door back out, smooth it out with some Bondo, resprayed it black.
There you go.
So like those would never show up on a Carfax report.
Yeah.
It never went to a shop to get work. Where they
probably would have totaled it out anyway, knowing them.
Yeah. Well, when the lady that hit me in the ass end, both of those went through the insurance. I had the one that was technically my fault, where they been blamed it on me, which is the one sideswiped when I came onto the highway. I had liability, so I just told them, just don't do anything with my car. If they don't run it, then if I don't try to get it fixed, it won't get totaled out. If I don't have to have it towed, they won't tow. If they have to tow it or anything like that to where it costs the insurance money, then they won't total it. But the one where the lady hit me, when the insurance adjuster from her company came out, I told them, I don't care what you mark this as. Just don't mark it high enough that it totals out the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lose my car because some lady couldn't get off her cell phone at a stop sign.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give a shit if you only give me a couple $100. Don't total my car. I drove this car away from the freaking scene. It's not totaled.
Right.
It crumpled the rear bumper and it bent the taillight panel a little bit, but that was about all it did. Well, and it put a crease in the trunk.
All repairable.
Yeah, well, I'm also glad that the ass end of my car sits as tall as the truck. Because if that car would have been sitting at stock ride height, she would have went through my trunk.
Oh yeah.
She would never have hit my bumper. She would have just went right through my taillights and into my trunk.
And then it might have been actually totaled then, huh?
It would have been totaled. Yeah. Because that would have bent the freaking C posts. It would have just crumpled all of that. There would have been no fixing that. Oh, I could have cut the quarters off. I could have cut the trunk floor out there.
Right. By the time you just get another car.
Yeah, and it's not a Chevelle or something where you're going to replace all of that, even if it's completely rotted. I mean, I just watched a video where they repaired a Chevelle. They completely removed the floor. It was the floor, the tail pan, both rear quarters, the trunk lip, the whatever that panel is that goes right behind the rear glass. That was the only thing that was left was the roof line, the striker posts for the doors, the inner structure that runs from the roof down to the wheel tub.
Yeah.
The wheel tubs were gone. The floor was gone. The rear subframes were gone. The tail fan was gone. Both quarters were gone. The trunk floor was gone. Like everything from the roof and the door back was gone.
Wow.
They replaced it all with new panels. So, like, what did you save from the car? You saved the firewall and the roof. And the rocker panels.
Right.
No, they replaced the rocker panels. The inner rocker panels were left. The outer rocker panels were gone. So the inner rocker panel, the door striker panel, so that panel that goes up the door striker bolts to, and the inner rear quarter. So like you have the striker panel, and then you have the inner rear panel that goes into the support for from the C pillar down to the wheel well. Everything on the outside and the back was gone. The floors were gone. It was all gone.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some cars that restored from nothing but a firewall.
Oh, no.
It all depends on how much the car is worth.
Yeah, and how much is worth to you?
Well, yeah, it depends. But yeah, you can replace a car depending on what it is from technically nothing but a VIN.
Sure. Well, it's like if I found my first car, it's like you said, it's that body style Nova. It's not really worth anything.
If you found
not substantial anyway, but for me, it would be.
Yeah, depends on if you found a donor body. Depends on also what other parts are you saving. Like you say, maybe the whole body of the car is garbage, but the interior is great. Well, if
the interior wasn't good then. No.
Well, like I said, if it's a car that you enjoyed and you love, the whole rest of the car is garbage. Well, where did you spend the most time at?
Yeah.
That dashboard, that steering wheel, the seat you were sitting in.
Well,
those things that you touched and that were what was, So even if the whole rest of the car was new and you put that stuff in your car, it's going to feel a lot like your car.
Well, and I'm sure I can find another body style, another car pretty much just like it, and I'm sure it'd be okay. But if I could find the original, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's a special memory thing, So like my Nova, I have the original car. I also have an almost identical body sitting right next to it. My original car is Swiss cheese. That body is damn near freaking, perfect. Well, as far as I need it to be, I need to replace the quarters, the wheel wells, not necessarily because of rust,
Right.
with damage. But the bones of the floor and the trunk in that car, perfect.
Well, the good thing about them Novas is they made a lot of.
Yeah, but
you can find parts for them.
They're not easy to find parts for right now. Trust me. There's a whole reason why my group is. There's a whole reason why my group is what it is. It's because so many of them have been used for circle track racing and
movies and
stuff like that. Not even movies is a small ass den.
Right.
It's normally the circle track cars and the demo cars.
Or in the Cash for Clunkers sure didn't help either.
Right. But the parts that you're missing, okay, number one, also they don't make they're just now starting to make reproduction parts.
Sure.
Find a tail light assembly for any of those cars. You can find them. Not LMC, but there's whatever it is, Classic Industries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sells a tail light assembly for those cars. I'm surprised we still have Pilot here. He just made a comment. What parts are important too? Yes. Thank you, Pilot, for hanging out here. I wasn't sure who all was still here. But like, they're $400
For taillights?
for a taillight assembly, and that's
Jesus.
not even that's one.
You talking about the lens?
That's the lens, the bezel, and the part that actually falls apart, which is the fiberglass backing.
Well, mine always leaked all the time, so I'd have to replace the bulbs all the time because they get water in it.
Well, yeah, but you know what? The part that fails on those is the part that you put the socket in.
Well, I was 16. I didn't know anything, so.
Right. That's the part that breaks.
You knew you had a tail out after going to get a fucking
the lenses don't normally fail. The bezel normally doesn't fail. What fails is that fiberglass freaking housing. It just disintegrates. So that's what fails. And like that, mine were held in with freaking rope because I don't have a housing left. So like the bulb is just suspended in that general area.
Guess you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, especially considering, like I said, unless you find a used part, until like 2 or 3 years ago, which I haven't driven my car in those years. Up until 2 or 3 years ago, they didn't make a reproduction of those. And every single one you found that was used was garbage. Even if you bought it, it would be good for like a little while until the first thing you put in your trunk and it split around in your trunk, because there's nothing in between that really brittle fiberglass and the stuff in your trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So, you accelerate hard like every single one of us does in those cars, and everything slides to the back of the trunk and crunch. There goes your housing. But yeah, like they don't make those parts. Rear fenders, they only make it up to the body line. So if you have any damage above that body line, like at the bottom of the quarter windows, you're out of luck. If you have a 4-door, you're out of luck. They don't make any. They don't make. They only got that. You're only going to have that section from the rear tire to the bumper that's going to be usable. They don't make door panel replacements. They don't make front fenders. Forget it. They don't make them. Yeah, there's so much of that car. I think the only body panel they make for that car is the rear quarters. Trunk drop-offs, forget it. They don't make them, which is that area that goes from the trunk floor down to the bottom of the fender.
Right.
Which always rot out on those cars. They don't make them. You have to take a like a 71, 72 drop-off, and you have to cut it and modify it to make it work, because they don't make an exact one for it.
I've actually got a 78 2-door Nova sitting in Memphis that I haven't touched. Just been sitting there for years. I need to go pick it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Parts for those cars it's a used part market. They don't make reproduction. They make some of the interior parts for them, but a lot of the parts you have to find used. It's just those cars are hard to find parts for because they're not desired. Yeah,
they're not sought out or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a 68 Camaro. It's not a 72 Nova. It's not a 69 Nova. It's the ugly Nova.
I thought they looked good.
Oh, I don't like them. I didn't
When I
like
think
them.
ugly Nova, I think the 80s.
Oh, that's not even a Nova.
Yeah, I know.
Even the 4th gen people don't recognize that as a Nova.
Oh, okay.
You're not even allowed to post that car on the page because it just starts freaking drama.
Yeah, I can see.
It just starts drama. It just causes people to start getting in an argument.
Well, didn't in Mexico they still made the Nova, that body style Nova in the 80s?
No. Canada kept it for a little bit and called it, I forget what they called it. They called it something else. The Acadia or something like that. But I think even them, it was only like a year or two that they kept it, and it was just because there was leftover stock. But yeah, I don't think they it's not one of the cars, and I don't think so. I've never seen anything in Mexico that was later than 79.
I got you.
79, they stopped making those. But yeah, I don't know. And I haven't seen anything come up with like I've run that since 2000 and 2000 and
something.
2009, I think. 2009, 2010. I've run that page.
I wish you got paid for running Facebook groups.
Yeah, when I started,
it'd be nice.
When I didn't even start that page, I found it. It was originally 1978 Concourse Nova, because that's what the dude had. It had 22 members. And I convinced the dude, I said, hey, let me help you run this page. You know, you don't have any recent posts. There's no activity. It's kind of dead. Let's rename it and broaden the subject matter, because there's not enough there. That was like one of the very few 4th gen related Facebook groups. I think there was like 2 others, and they were dead as well. And I told him, let's just change it to 4th generation Novas, and you know, start getting people to post on it. And we did, and it's just grown from then. I mean, it was kind of cool seeing the fact that there was that many people out there that had this car that most people didn't like. Because yeah, if you were to go on like other Nova pages and post stuff about the 4th gens, there's so much hate. So much hate.
Yeah. They're cool cars, man. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah. But they're awkward.
A little bit, yeah. They're heavy, they're slow.
Well, the thing is like the front half has that 80s look to it, but the back half still has that kind of muscle car look to it. You know what I mean?
But when you drive it, it feels like a muscle car.
Oh, yeah. Because everything underneath the car is still 1970, late 60s, early 70s. You know, the front suspension is off of the is the same front suspension that's in the F bodies. You can take anything off of an 70 to 82 Firebird or Camaro. The front suspension is the same geometry. So A-arms, spindles, that stuff is all the same. Now, the Novas are a little narrower than the Firebird, so you can't use like the front sway bars.
Right.
So like the width is it's a narrower front end, but all of this the actual like suspension components that go up and down, all that stuff, it's all that body. It's all the same geometry. That obviously the tie rod center link and stuff like that is a different length, but as far as any of the stuff that hangs off the frame, it's all the same. The back end is still the exact same stuff that they ran on the Novas from the previous generation. Same leaf springs, same rear end, same all of that. So yeah, it's no different than the earlier Novas. It just doesn't have the same body. They didn't handle bad. The 4th gen Novas handled better than the freaking 2nd and 3rd gen Novas. They handled a lot better than the earlier Novas. Again, you have all that updated front steering from the Trans Ams and the Camaros.
Yeah.
The front suspension on the Novas was all the way back from the shoeboxes. The 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72 Novas, they were still running the same front suspension from the generation before.
Mm-hmm.
So wish you could drive my Cadillac. I've drove the newer CTSs. They drive like a Cadillac. They're smooth.
It's a completely different animal.
Oh, for sure.
But the other thing is that same freaking turning point, abuse the crap out of that Cadillac like you would an old school Nova, and watch how fast that freaking Cadillac falls apart.
The year model he has are actually built very well, but especially the older CTSs are just junk.
Right, but the suspension components are nowhere near as strong as the suspension components from the late 60s, early 70s. I mean, there's stamped steel. You know what I mean? It just, I mean, geez, I've watched newer cars front suspensions literally just rot apart.
Yeah.
The whole rest of the car would rot before the freaking A-arms would rot on an old Nova.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, there's a lot more metal there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, there's 2 double-edged swords. They're lighter now because that's unsprung weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's weight reduction, and weight reduction is handling. But then again, like I said, they're not going to take an abuse. Biggie knows that.
Well,
there's a channel that we watch called Fail Race, and he does these things called Driven to Destruction with BMG Drive, which is computer simulated. But that if we were to simulate driving that Cadillac on the Driven to Destruction course, it's just outright unobliterated abuse.
Slowly and methodically just tears apart cars.
Well, the newer CTSs, especially like his 2014. Cadillac's always been known for how smooth they drive, but the 2014s are very smooth.
Ride suspension and stuff like that. But like I said, yeah, they're gonna ride smooth. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the guy in that does the videos, he comments, yeah, they'll ride smooth, but they will take nowhere near the amount of abuse an older suspension would.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ! Nowadays, most cars hit a pothole and it puts the transmission in fucking limp mode.
So no Dukes of Hazzard stuff going on.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You run that Cadillac over a fucking pothole, and I guarantee you, there's several suspension parts that are going to need to be replaced.
Yeah, if you don't crack a wheel.
That too. A friend of mine, she had
always.
She had a Toyota, and she hit a pothole at like 35, and it ripped the lower A-arm apart. It cracked her wheel, and yeah, the tire was still on the wheel. It was still inflated, but the wheel was cracked.
Wow. I'd be going straight to the state, be like, "Hey, I pay taxes for this. Why did this happen?"
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The thing is, like I said, you would have taken the same. If you would have taken Nova off a pothole like that, you might blow the tire, but that'd be probably about it.
Blow the tire, bend the wheel.
Maybe not even bend the wheel. I mean,
I mean, if you have like
a modern stamped steel wheel versus an old school stamped steel wheel.
Yeah.
There's a lot less material on a new wheel.
Well, the old tires used to have more tire to them too.
Oh, that too, yeah. A lot more tire to absorb before you hit the wheel. I mean, well, not my tires, because the tires on the front of my Nova are, so stock it's 65. So like the front tires on my Nova stock are 205 65 R15s. At one point, I was running 195 55 R15s on the front of that car.
Jesus.
Just for looks, or just because that's what you had on there?
It was just for looks. I was also running I was running a 265. No, not a 265. A 225 75 R15 on the rear.
Give it that stance.
Yep, it's exactly what it was. I was also running a 7x15 on the front and an 8x15 on the rear. Stock on that car technically is a 14-inch.
Mm-hmm.
I have a set of Corvette rally rims that I run on it that are 7x15. But I also have a set of Krager SS's that are 6x15 and 8x15.
And you'd be like everybody else, man. Put it on some 28s.
Yeah.
A little lift.
Mag road, no run flats. But yeah, then I have a 4-inch lift in the rear. I don't have a drop suspension in the front. I'm just running inline 6 springs with a
V8.
So when are you going to convert it to an electric car?
Get off my channel.
Yeah. Every time.
Get out.
It's blasphemy even thinking about the fact that I want to LS swap it.
Yeah. It would be cool to put in like a 6.2 or something in it. That thing would be a beast.
Yeah. I mean that's the main thing is at this point, as much as I love my old school carbureted engines, there is no way I can get the power out of them for the cost that I can.
And the efficiency. I mean, being able to just hit that electric start, in the middle of the winter and stuff would be awesome.
The thing is, I can sit there and I can build up that car with a carbureted engine and just a plain Jane 350 like everyone else does. There won't get any views.
Right. Well, and it'll just be another car. It won't feel like it's something spectacular for you.
Exactly. And the thing is, if I want to get views, and the thing is I need to build the channel up with the Nova build. So that way I have the income coming from the channel to help offset the cost of what I want to do to the Trans Am.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Which is what Trans Am isn't getting built.
And if you get enough excitement off the Nova and get enough money, then you could easily build your Trans Am and have plenty of excitement already there. Which more people are going to get excited about the Trans Am than they would the Nova.
Right. The Nova, I want to go with. I want to go with the supercharged engines that GM has out now. I don't care if it's a 5th gen Camaro or if it's a newer one.
Mm-hmm.
With the factory supercharged engine out of one of them. I think the Camaro something. Or at least have the platform to be able to, you know what I mean?
I don't know if you ever watched Weston Chamberlain.
No, I don't think so.
He took a wrecked, I think it was a 2015 Mustang, and he put a Cummins from a 98 Dodge truck in the Mustang.
That's the things that can drive people absolutely up a wall and get used. Jeez.
Well, his channel is blown up. I mean, it's awesome. But
let me coyote swap the Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
or Duramax swap it.
You're right, but the problem is at that point, I wouldn't like the car.
The Duramax is what we're putting in my the GMC Jimmy. I got it's the K5 Blazer or whatever. We're putting the Duramax in it.
Yeah, the GMC version.
Yeah, that's not a bad swap either. I mean, I would love to do that, but like I said, for me to coyote swap my Nova or I wouldn't enjoy the car anymore. And at that point, why? I want to do an engine swap that is crazy, and people will be like, "Oh my god!" But I want to do something that I'm still going to enjoy the car when it's done.
Like I saw something once. Speaking of the Coyote engine, I think someone put a Coyote in the back of a Porsche Cayman.
That's gross.
Oh, come on.
That's gross.
It is gross because of how
It could be a Porsche engine and a Ford Mustang.
That would still be gross.
The weight of
I
the
think it's
Porsche.
grosser than the Coyote and the Porsche.
Yeah.
But my problem is the weight of that Coyote motor versus the weight of the stock Porsche engine in the back of that car would so throw off the handling of that car.
Not if you.
I'm sure they can engineer it right.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
if he's got the money
a company that does that, if I'm right.
Money to, get the suspension readjusted.
Right. I'm thinking there's a company that actually builds them cars that you're talking about. And I can't think of what it is right this second, but it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. They were talking about a company that takes the older Porsches and puts the Coyote engine in them.
They used to LS swap the front engine Porsches, what is it, the
944.
Yeah, I think so. They used to freaking LS swap them all the time.
Well, yeah, but I think having a Porsche Cayman is like the baby 911, and you got a 500 horsepower American fucking just lunk of iron right there, right behind you. Like, why the hell not?
They're not iron anymore. I hate to tell you that.
I mean, aluminum still.
They don't have a lump of iron in them unless you get a freaking Escalade engine.
Yeah.
Unless you put a truck engine in them, you're not getting a lump of iron.
Actually, you can get trucks with aluminum engines too. Mine's got one.
Most trucks are. But there are some that still like they're the iron block 6.0.
Yeah, that'd be like for like a heavy duty application.
They're in the Escalades. They're in they're in delivery trucks, the small buses,
vans probably.
Well, yeah, it's basically the same. That's what a small bus is. It's a van chassis. Any of those delivery box trucks, it's all a van chassis.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that comes in the vans, you can get in those. But yeah, they all come with iron blocks. It's the exact same block. It's just iron. You get the same heads that are on the freaking aluminum cars.
Mm-hmm.
Same wiring harness, same everything else. It's just
heavy.
Yeah, they're made out of iron. I guess it's supposed to be for heat. Because the hauling will put more heat into the engine.
Yeah.
Something that get a lot of views. If you took one of them Chevy Sparks, the little one, that replaced the Aveo or whatever.
Yeah.
And you put a like a 6.2 or 6.0 in that. That would be crazy.
Yeah, but that would involve me having to end up with a Spark.
Yes.
They don't have
6.2 liter V8 Spark. It would have the practicality of the original vehicle.
If I had the money to buy a Spark and I had the money to buy the 6.0, the Nova would have been done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying later on, after you do your Nova, after you do Trans Am, 6.0 liter, 6.2 liter in a Spark.
Trans Am, I don't know if there will actually be internal combustion engine vehicles still on the road.
That going to take you that long, huh?
Yeah.
At this rate, I mean, unless my channel decides to, blow up, or somebody, I get a really nice donator. These are pipe dreams at the moment. I mean, I can work on something like the body of the Nova. I can work on that slowly, but will I be able to get a 6.0 engine? My girlfriend's brother does, I'll buy your freaking neglected vehicle freaking shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I could easily probably end up pick up one of those. Whether or not I have the money when he has one is a different story. Because he picks it up all the time. He just had a delivery van a couple months ago that had the Iron Block 6.0 in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not hard to come by. Now, whether or not I can end up getting one of those supercharged GM engines.
Oh, good luck.
Right. They're like even a busted up one is still freaking over 10 grand.
You could get one of them supercharged Pontiac engines. Where were they in the Grand Prix and stuff?
I think that was a
V6.
Those were V6s. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
They were,
supercharged.
they were V6 and front wheel drive.
Yeah, supercharged.
Front wheel drive.
You can make it happen.
I have a really heavy subframe that would really not make that freaking front wheel drive setup very happy.
Well, it would ride like crap to you.
Well, you try getting the axles through that freaking frame to get to the wheels.
I'm sure you could engineer it somehow, but
I would
No,
have
that-
to weld the whole front subframe from one of those Pontiac cars onto the freaking. Well, no, there's nothing to weld it to.
yeah, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be cool.
It wouldn't be possible. I don't think. I mean, I would. Literally
I think it's possible. Anything's possible. Come on.
Yeah,
Is
but
it
the money
viable,
doesn't
though?
get
If you have enough welding equipment and
I don't have enough money to do that.
exactly, well, and time and a place to do it. And,
All right, well, see, there you go. Pilot's retired. He's got money, and he has the time. Well, I don't need your time. Just need your money.
Yeah.
yeah, if he pays for your car, you can do it. You don't need his time.
Just sponsor me a little bit there, Pilot. Throw me a little bit of sponsorship. We'll mention your name, and
You could even put a pilot sticker on the back window.
there you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Just mention your name every freaking video, and we'll get you endorsed by. Today's video is sponsored by Pilot. And everybody will think I'm talking about the freaking fuel company.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. I would say, other than time, which when you have money you can make time.
If you have enough, yeah.
Yeah. The biggest hurdle isn't my skill. It isn't my. Well, I would say within the next year or two it will not be location. Hopefully, it's money. Money is my biggest hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
I have all the dreams, ambition, skill, whatever in the world. When you don't have the money, it's kind of hard to buy the parts.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made do. I mean, you look at the Nova. I kept it on the road for how long? Making do and making things work with what I could scrounge up, whether that's hunting scrap yards or literally just using, backyard mechanic skills. Kept that car on the road for how long? Until the body rotted. At one point the exhaust was held up with freaking baling wire for freaking crushed cardboard. Because the bolts literally snapped from the iron manifold.
That rust killer up there.
The bolt just snapped it. And so there was nothing to hold my Y pipe up to the exhaust manifold. So I wrapped some freaking metal baling ties around the manifold and then down through the freaking exhaust hanger, like the whatever the collector for the exhaust, and literally just twisted them up to the point to where it was sealing. So yeah, it's ingenuity sometimes. It ran like that all the way up until I pulled the inline six out, because you couldn't remove the exhaust manifold to drill the bolts out, because the exhaust manifold is bolted to the intake, and if you ever know anything about those cars, there's no way you're getting those bolts out of that exhaust manifold to get that exhaust off of the intake.
Yeah.
Because even after we pulled the engine and I tried tearing it apart, they would just snap.
Yeah.
They would either snap or round over. You could not get them out. We never got that. I got the head off of that car, but I never separated, because it's the head and intake are one piece, and then the exhaust manifold bolts to the underside of it, onto the underside of the intake. And so, I never got the exhaust off of the intake.
And that's a 350?
Huh?
It's a 350?
No, it's a 250 inline six.
Oh,
they didn't
make
six.
Straight six, yeah.
Now, the car that's in it now is a 350.
Yeah.
It's out of a 79 truck.
Ah,
Still a 350 though.
Yep, so 350. It had all the possibilities of being a 4-bolt main too. Came from the right factory, came from the right time, had the right stamping on the block, but it was a 2-bolt main. Could very well have been a 4-bolt. Like I said, it was all in the correct time and place and whatever. It wasn't a 4-bolt. It came out of a 79 plow truck.
Ow.
Now, the engine that I had that it's now my coffee table came out of an 80s sedan.
Damn.
It was still the 2-piece rear main seal, but it was just a 305 run of the mill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was before they went to the 1-piece rear main seal, so it was still the 2-piece. But it was just it could have been in anything. It could have been in a Firebird. It could have been in any one of the freaking 4-door freaking sedans that were out at the time. They threw them in everything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my '84 Jimmy has 305 in it.
Pilot asks, are truck engines that much different? Yes and no. Truck engines tend to have a little bit more gusseting and strength in the crank area to handle
The more torque.
not necessarily more torque, but more load. It's not necessarily that they have more torque. It's the amount of strain that towing and hauling puts on the drivetrain. So it's not necessarily the torque, it's the load. It's the same thing of like when you stamp on the brake and you load up the engine. Trucks have to deal with that kind of weight all the time, and it can break, it can break main caps. It can, it's what destroys that stuff. So torque would do a damage all at once. They're not looking at how much damage can be done at once. They're looking at load over a time. So if they want that engine to last so many 100 miles, well, then they need to make sure that that engine can handle load over that long period of time without stress cracking the block.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, so that's where you get the 4-bolt mains. 4-bolt mains were never in a factory ride car. That is a truck engine. People got smart. They realized that, hey, I'm literally ripping the main studs out of my, drag race car. So back then you didn't make your own blocks. You had to deal with what you could find. And, 4 bolts down there are stronger than 2. So we're gonna yank this truck engine, and we're gonna use this truck engine now instead of the passenger car engine, because it can handle more load.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's the thing is why do you want a 4-bolt main? Because it can handle more horsepower and more load. Most of the time you're also off at that point. You'll have to offset the heavier weight of that truck engine, so it needs more horsepower. To even run that. You're not going to run that engine at stock because it's not going to give you better times than you would, the passenger car engine.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I care if it was I didn't really care if it was a 4-bolt main or 2-bolt main, because I knew I wasn't going to ever put that much power to that engine. It's standard late 70s 4-bolt, late 70s 350. It's not going to make the power that a late 60s 350 would make.
Sure.
Now, granted, a lot of that is all in the heads. But I don't have the original heads off that 350 either. I grabbed the heads off my 305 and threw it on that 350.
Mm-hmm.
11-to-1 compression.
Yeah, see, I don't know all that stuff. I do diesel engines.
The thing is that's a Smog engine 350, so it's large chambered,
right.
heads. which don't flow. One, so that's low compression. So that engine probably had maybe 8 to 1, 8.5 to 1 compression stock. Now I'm lucky that when I pulled that engine apart, it had the valve relief pistons in it,
Mm-hmm.
which means the stock engine would have had dished pistons. So I'm already one step ahead with having that engine having basically taking up a lot of the CCs with the piston, because the piston literally will sit basically level with only a small relief for the valve.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a domed piston, which would be weird, which is different because then they'll have a raised area on the one side with the shape of the valve to take up as much of that chamber size as possible. But it's a flat top piston with valve reliefs. So I scored a bonus there. And then I threw the 305 heads, which are smaller CCs. And I got lucky because a lot of the times the 305 heads will have small intake and exhaust valves.
Mm-hmm.
The 305 heads that I have were large intake valves.
Hmm.
So it had the same size exhaust ports as it had a standard side exhaust port, but the for a 305, but it had the same size intake port that the 350 heads had.
What'd they come off of?
What that head?
The heads, yeah.
Again, like I said, I don't know, some generic 80s
Stock
sedan.
305.
Yeah, stock 305. The small 305. It had that 305 had dished pistons. You know, it was just a plain Jane 105 horsepower 305. But I threw the 305 heads on it after rebuilding them, along with the 350, which will bring that 350 basically up around 11 to 1 compression. I cannot run anything but 93 or 94 octane in that engine.
Mm-hmm.
Not without retarding the timing a hell of
Right.
a lot. I had to do it. Right after I put that engine in there, we had all that freaking gas prices went up through the roof. And for a while, I had to run the timing way off, just so that way it wouldn't knock. It ran. It didn't have a whole crap ton of power, but it ran. And then as soon as the gas prices went down and I started putting premium back in it, readjusted the freaking timing, and it woke that car up pretty well. It's like, yeah, and you can advance the timing, you know. It definitely runs a hell of a lot better. But yeah, I mean, that's like simple stuff. I mean, like I picked up that engine for like $100 and some. I put maybe $300 in brand new parts in that, reused the 305 heads. You know, it's still a stock engine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't have oversized. Well, it has 30 over pistons in it already. But that was before I bought it. So that means it still had the crosshatch in the freaking cylinder bores when I bought it. The heads that were on it were garbage. The rockers were chewed up. The push rods were chewed up. The top of the valve stems were chewed up. The engine was definitely it was on its way out if it wasn't rebuilt. The bottom end was good. The top end was bad. I put a double roller. A double toothed timing set on it, so twin chain.
Yeah.
Put all new bimetal bearings in the bottom end. Put all new rings on it. Rebuilt put all new seals and everything in the 305 heads. I didn't really need to necessarily rebuild them. Put all new push rods in it. Didn't I put all new cam bearings in it, but didn't replace the cam. So it still has the stock cam that was in it, or whatever cam was in it. I don't even know if it was stock, but it's got whatever cam that was in it. Took the aluminum Edelbrock intake off of my 305 through that, and the carburetor off my 305. Kept all of that. Kept the distributor. So like, I mean, I didn't put. I mean, other than a refresh with the bearings and bearings and rings and gaskets, didn't really dump any money into the 350. Just refreshed it, gave it a fresh coat of paint, threw it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's got like any, but you know what, with the smaller CC chambered heads, it's got a lot more power than it would have had in the truck.
Well, and it's probably that paint. You put that fresh paint on there, it makes it real faster.
Oh yeah, that's power big time. Pilot asked, do all of the bolt patterns line up? Any of the small block Chevys will bolt up. So 289, the two whatever, which you won't really see very many of those. You'll normally see the 305, the 350, 383, and the 400 are all the same. Now there is the 307. The 307 won't, because that's a block. It's a different block.
What about the 327?
327, yeah, that's still a small block Chevy. Like the 307 is the oddball because that's a wide. It's what they call a Y block.
Mm-hmm.
It's the angle of the cylinders are different. They're more straight up and down and not so V.
I got you.
The angle between the pistons is different.
Right.
Those are a fun block if you can get a hold of them. They make a lot of power, the Y blocks, but they're small. They're a small block.
One engine that everybody complains about that I actually thought was pretty good after messing with it was the Crossfire engines.
Well, it's not necessarily the engine that's bad.
It's the fuel system. I get it.
It's the fuel and the ignition system that was bad.
I didn't have a problem with that. I had I think it was an 87. It might have been an 86.
Well,
it's older than that.
Is it was the Crossfire ignition system with the water pump integrated to it. Because when one of that shit went, you had to replace everything.
It was a 83 Camaro. That's what it was. 83 Camaro with Crossfire.
Yeah, that Crossfire ignition system was horrible. And then the fuel system, that was just them messing around with fuel injection before they really understood it. So
sure,
and that wasn't direct port. It was, it was just they weren't making a whole lot of power. It was very efficient. Those engines could make a hell of a lot more power with not too many changes, but just taking some modern knowledge. It's just like it's just like anything. Right when they switched over to fuel injection and right after emissions, all of those cars sucked. Because their first thought to pass emissions was to strangle. What's the biggest difference from 1970 to 1973? Why did the horsepower numbers drop so bad?
Emissions,
yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't emissions. It was their response to emissions, because we have the same emissions, if not more strict now than we did in the early 70s.
Well, yeah, but technology's also come a lot further.
It's the understanding of emissions that has come a lot further, and our response to it is the technology. The thing is way back when, their response to emissions, well, if we don't want so much bad gas coming out, well, let's not put so much in. Their thought wasn't to make it run more efficient. Their thought was to, if I don't put so much in, I won't have so much come out. So they lowered the amount of fuel that was going in and air. So basically, the reason why these engines struggled to make horsepower was because they weren't getting the ingredients they needed to make horsepower.
It's starving the engine.
Yeah, they starved it. You take a set of heads off of a pre-emissions 350 and throw them on an emissions 350, boom, you wake that engine right up. Because they didn't really change
the block itself.
They changed the piston heads. So you'll see a lot of post-emission engines have a dished piston versus pre-emissions, most of them were flat-topped. High-performance ones were domed.
And I guess for that the reason they had that is for the exhaust gas.
What, the dished?
Right. For that to go through the circulation or whatever.
Well, yeah, it was to increase the CCs of the again, that's the same thing like I said. It's to lower the the 11-to-1, 8 to, it
lower the
dropped
compression ratio.
Exactly. Thank you. My memory's not working. That was what they were doing. They were lowering the compression ratio to drop to help pass emissions. And part of that was to make the disc pistons the bigger freaking chambered CC'd heads, because big CC heads don't make more power. You're needing to add, obviously more fuel and more air to fill up that space to be able to make an optimal, efficient burn.
Yeah.
Like I said, so their whole idea was screwed. They end up honestly, at the end of the day, they were passing emissions. But at the end of the day, they weren't necessarily passing emissions, because the cars on the road were having to work harder to do the same job.
Yeah.
And you all know, when you work an engine harder, it's going to produce more emissions.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the earlier hybrid vehicles. They were so heavy that you weren't actually saving any fuel. Yeah, you were using less fuel as far as burning it, but you were using more fuel because they were so heavy.
Because it wasn't relying on the electric engines.
Right. So when you added it up, it was about the same fuel mileage.
Yeah, but we had this argument last week. I don't know if you were here last week about the whole like Priuses and all that freaking stuff. The thing is yeah, it's double fold. You were using more, whatever, but the amount of emissions that it took to make the car was way more.
I mean, they're better now, of course, but
not really.
Marginally.
No. All right, let's go. Elon Musk. Okay, he has these Teslas. Think about just the amount of lithium it takes to mine to make the batteries for those cars.
Well, and the biggest thing that is hardest to find for them is the cobalt.
Yeah, well, I mean, the amount of freaking destruction that we do the earth just to make these cars is a more detrimental than the old cars did their whole life cycle. And not to mention, the other thing is you got to think about it. Cars from the 60s and 70s, geez, we still have them around today.
Sure.
How many cars that are made within the last 10 years do you think will be around in 50 to 60 years?
Next to none.
Now, let's even add that part. How many of these Priuses and electric vehicles do you think will be around in 50, 60 years?
0.
Depends on how technology gets. I don't think. Now, the electric vehicles.
Well, he means the ones like from today.
Right.
Like the ones that literally,
I know that.
They will not be on the road in that long. I guarantee you most of them won't be on the road longer than 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you got to think about it. Okay, if you have one car that lasts 50 years, okay? Let's just say, if you have cars that last 50 years, you don't need to produce as many of them,
right,
to keep the population, with vehicles. Granted, we all know that they make a whole lot of vehicles every year, but let's just say, if a car lasts that long, you don't have to replace it as often.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to replace a Prius every 5 to 10 years, and I guarantee you the electric vehicles will be worse.
Well, my wife drives a hybrid. It's a Highlander, Toyota Highlander.
Mm-hmm. How old is it?
It's an 08 model. And
Okay.
it
Miles
still
around.
drives like new. 249,000 now.
Oh, damn.
Still drives like brand new car. But you have to maintain the batteries. You have to maintain them.
Exactly.
And you have to make sure they stay cool. And then also you have to drive it. It doesn't like sitting. No hybrid or electric car likes to sit.
All right. No. I can't tell you how many Priuses I see stuffed in the field around where I live.
Well, especially the older Priuses, like the 04 body style, they were pretty junk. But they were, just coming out with it, so it was all new. And you can replace the battery packs now, but at the end of the day, they're not good. The newer Priuses are much better, but Priuses, they're not the best hybrid car for sure.
Right. No, they were just like the first.
There's a lot of them.
There is, and
you got to think about that. You got to think about the amount of environmental impact one car puts on the environment.
Sure.
I made this argument before. Okay, you take a Gremlin from the 1960s,
mm-hmm.
still running today, would still not have environmentally impacted the earth as much as just creating one Prius. Not even a Prius driving.
Just making it.
The Prius. So at that point, it's like just that thing, being environmentally friendly. People only look about what's environmentally friendly from the time that they buy it to the time they get rid of it. They don't think, they only think about the here and now. They don't think about the whole picture. Yes, a Gremlin technically put out more fossil fuels driving it.
Sure.
But the amount of fossil fuel that it produced, or the smog that it produced from the time it was made, even creating the car, because you still have, creating the car. So you got to think about it. The old Gremlins, they didn't have the foam seats and stuff we have today.
Right.
And have all the wiring,
the airbags,
the air, all of those components. So the environmental impact of creating a Gremlin isn't very much.
Yeah.
You got steel. Even the seats aren't even. Most of it was actual fabric.
Yeah.
The bottom of the seats is burlap and metal. They used burlap back then.
Yeah.
In fact, Nova and my Trans Am, the bottom of the seats is still burlap.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, they put burlap on top of the metal springs, in between the springs and the seat cushion. And the seat cushions, the material, the foam that they used back then, was more biodegradable than the seat foam today. The seat foam they use today is mainly all chemicals, not natural chemicals.
Yeah.
The material that they make the seats out of today isn't natural. With the cloth, it's not natural cloth. So you got to think about all that. Like way back when they used actual cloth, now they use polyester and things like that, and
it's more plastic than cloth. Yeah,
right, exactly. And the most of the cars, it's more plastic than anything else.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the A post covers in my TA, they're metal. Not like plastic, they're metal. The ones that run across the headliner in the front and the back, they're metal. The only ones that are plastic are the ones that were hard to mold.
Yeah.
Where it was easier to mold them in plastic, more effective to mold them in plastic.
Yeah.
It's that's the kind of thing. Like I said, so all of the electronics in today's cars use a lot of natural resources.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are very destructive to mine.
Oh, speaking of electric cars, I know most people probably don't know this, well, of this channel, but I know you do, Linus Tech Tips. He just posted a review of the Chevy Bolt he got like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going through it and he's talking about it all, and he gets the battery. No, he's going over why he didn't choose like a Tesla
Right.
over the Chevy Bolt,
Because
and he's talking about the battery, and he's like, well, he pretty much says like if there is anything wrong with the battery, you could still drive on the gasoline engine, but
Oh, so that's the hybrid one.
yeah,
yeah.
I always get them mixed up. The Bolt is the hybrid, and the Volt is
Volt
the
is
full
full
electric.
EV. The Bolt is the hybrid.
Okay. I always get them mixed up.
Anyway, wait, what was the Volt full EV?
One of them was. I don't remember which one is.
Yeah. Anyway, he's talking about his Bolt, and he gets onto the battery, and he says, that when GM was designing the car, they designed in like a kind of like a buffer for the battery. So, like, say, like if I could compare it to my phone, like phones, as you use them more and more and more and more and more, the battery, the life expectancy wears down on the battery, and you have to charge it more and more frequently.
Yep.
Well, what the battery in the Bolt essentially does is it lets you only charge up the battery to like 80%. So then you're not like constantly overcharging the battery. And as time goes on and progresses, the car will eventually let you use more and more and more of that reserve space in the battery, so that it's still going to keep about the same range. But then after that's gone, then it's going to start to degrade faster and faster. But their intent was, for like the first 5 or 6 years after the car has been made, it's still going to act like it was brand new.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if all hybrids are like that, or if that's a GM thing. I know the old GM hybrids, like the 06s and stuff, were total junk.
Oh yeah. Well, that was still like way early on in the hybrid game. I mean,
Right, for
Toyota
sure.
had been making Prius since '99, but GM was like, hybrid what?
Right.
The closest they had to a hybrid was what, that little fucking EV1 thing in the early '90s, which
Well, the old electric S10.
All right. Well, I think that we need to like shelf this topic till next week.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just have to glance up at the time in the top corner, and it's almost 1 a.m. We have things we need to do tomorrow morning. So
Same.
we're gonna end this week, and if somebody remembers to bring this topic up next week,
Oh, I'm sure we will.
we'll continue this topic next week.
I tend to talk about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pilot, for joining us. Till almost 4-hour live stream, and
Pretty near.
we'll catch you guys next week.
All right, guys. Thanks.